A small number of friends and family are able to attend today's game at Olympus Stadium in Morgantown. West Virginia and Baylor just about set to kick it off. Baylor won the toss. Dave Aranda opted to defer to Neil Brown's club, so West Virginia will start with the football. And talking to both of these guys, Dan, this week, they're a little bit different, but there are some similarities, it seems, just philosophically in how they approach the game and their relationship with their players. Really, two guys you love talking football with.
Yeah, both conversations were outstanding. You could tell Dave Aranda has an incredible focus, not only in the present, but in the long term. And Neil Brown just really good of keeping honest about his football team, but also what they need to get better at.
And this will be returnable for Winston Wright from about the 1-yard line. And a pretty good return out close to the 30-yard line. Jarret Doege, the West Virginia starting quarterback. He needs to be better this week than he was last week. That was certainly the message from the coaching staff to the Bowling Green transfer. Got 17 starts under his belt after 2 years at Bowling Green. It was fun watching this as well, how he spent quarantine. His mom and his dad both chipped in to keep him in shape.
Outstanding video. I'd say two things for him today. Take ownership of this offense, and you got to hang in the pocket, stare down the barrel, and deliver the football.
And a pitch and catch to start the game with Sam James. Now, Gerard Parker told us, this is what great quarterbacks do. This is a hard game. And you have to know that this is your job, even if there is pressure in your face. It's tough, and not everyone can do it. But you have to be able to stand in there and deliver the football. He's already 1 for 1 and swings one out to Leddie Brown for an easy first down on his second passing attempt. And just like that, out to midfield of the Mountaineers.
Leddie Brown will be a huge part of this football game for West Virginia, strictly because he really is their personality. He's this big, physical, legs never stop moving back. If he has a big day, that's their identity as an offense.
Good rhythm to start. Bryce Ford Wheaton is able to get out to about the 44-yard line, it looks like, of Baylor. So just like that, 3 snaps, and the Mountaineers are across midfield.
I like the tempo they're playing with, understanding that Baylor wants to be a pressure defense. Get up there, react, and get the ball on the perimeter.
Leddie Brown picks up the first down. Leddie Brown now has 4 career 100-yard rushing games, but 2 of those 4 are the first 2 games of this season. 123 yards opening day against Eastern Kentucky, and 104 last week in the loss in Stillwater. Play action, the blitz picked up, so Doege's going to take a shot down the sideline. Underthrown and off the hand of Ford Wheaton.
They get pressure from Baylor. This is what I want to see out of Ford Wheaton right now. Ball's in the air. Go fight back for that football. Make 37. Mark Milton run through you. That's how you can create that pass interference. Don't just continue to drift. Slow down a little bit. Get your body in control, and then you can go high point that ball and either catch it or force DPI.
Flags down before this play gets started. It was well designed, and Mike O'Loughlin had plenty of running room, but looks like it will be a false start called against West Virginia.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, not all 11 players were set before the snap. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Referee Scott Campbell, like Ed Hockley Jr., right? It's the gun show today with Scott Campbell.
He's got to be on keto or no carb or...
Good for him.
I mean, my suit shirt's pretty tight, and his is tighter than mine.
Yeah, you're really busting out, just like him. I would say it's a lateral move from him to you.
Very Euro fit.
Is that your excuse?
Yeah.
Second down and 15. 4-man rush. It's picked up. Underneath throw to Winston Wright. Winston Wright was the go-to workhorse last week. 4 catches for 103 yards and a touchdown. He seemed to be Doege's big play target. Third down and 14.
You know, us doing the West Virginia game last week, this exact situation is really where they hurt themselves by being greedy, both as a play caller and a quarterback. 3rd and 14, you got to understand, listen to your feet, back in the pocket. If number 1, 2 aren't there, get your check down.
Nagy out of the pocket, trying to extend the play. And now a decision to make at the 39-yard line, maybe the 38-yard line. It's 4th down and 6. From right here, you're looking at a 53, 54-yard field goal. And Neil Brown, I think he's going to play aggressively and go for it. And why not?
In this situation, you got multiple plays in your playbook where you're just trying to, you can see if the defense will present itself or jump off sides. Use your cadence. See, now West Virginia sees how Baylor is aligning, and their coaching staff can tell Jarrett Doege, this is the play we want to get to. A run actually looks great with the box count.
Might be a free play. Right at the 1st down marker, but it looked like the ball was dropped. Are they going to credit that for a catch, a football move by Sam James, and a fumble? The officials right now, I think, trying to decide whether or not this is a completed ball, and they've given West Virginia a 1st down.
The ruling on the field is a catch and a fumble recovered by the offense for a 1st down.
The rule is you have to have complete control of the football, get your 2 feet down, and make a move common to the game to turn yourself into a runner. I have to think that replay is going to take another peek at this. So we'll see if this indeed is a 4th down conversion for West Virginia when we come back. The call on the field was a catch, a fumble, and a recovery for a 1st down for West Virginia. And it turns out that Sam James gets the benefit of the doubt, Dan, from replay as well as the call on the field stands. It was announced while we were away, so it's a 4th down conversion for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I love the aggression by Neil Brown to go for it. And then Sam James has had some opportunities. He's a guy that they want to get the football to more. They expect him to win in man coverage 80% of the time and then make those 3rd and 4th down conversions to extend these drives. Great job by Sam James.
That's Dan Orlovsky. I'm Bob Wischusen. Rocky Boyman with us as well. And a 1-yard gain for Leddie Brown. And we're looking at an impact player, aren't we, Rocky? And Terrell Bernard for Baylor today.
Yeah, number 2 for Baylor defense. Watch him. Tremendous speed, Bob. He's already made an impact here today. 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks last week. And I asked Ron Roberts, the defensive coordinator, you can bring 1 player with you in a bar fight. Who you bringing? He's bringing Terrell Bernard at 6'1", 220 pounds.
Well, that time they brought him on a blitz, and it looked like he was about a yard off sides. It does not appear that a flag came out. But they ran away from him. Luckily, Terrell Bernard, he finds himself in the backfield, Dan, often.
Terrell Bernard reminds me a lot of Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma, who's a 1st-round pick for the Los Angeles Chargers. Super athletic, violent player, an outstanding blitzer and great speed. I love watching him on tape.
That's a great comparison. 3rd down and 3. Doege looking at a blitz off his back foot. It's another 1st down catch as he finds Leddie Brown out of the backfield. Our first chance to say hi to Kevin Nagandi. All right, Kevin, well, here in the Big 12, West Virginia's first possession so far has been a good one in the red zone with a 1st down. Another blitz coming, and this ball batted down at the line. That's the Arkansas State transfer, William Bradley King. And he is a bend-the-edge rusher that they think is a dynamic edge guy.
Just great awareness right there. You see that the quarterback is setting himself up to get the ball out of his hands. You're not going to get home. He sticks up that big left paw. He calls himself Dante Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence, the technician. You saw it right there, the understanding of the football game.
And he's standing up here and looking to bend the edge. 2nd and 10. Quarterback run. Doege takes a hit at the 8-yard line. About 3 yards shy of a 1st down. It brings up another 3rd down after we check the penalty marker.
offside, number 99, defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
So West Virginia loses a couple of yards, but they get the down back. You could see they were ineffective in the red zone last week. Now they've got it at the 10-yard line as they get the down back, 2nd down and 5.
I think they're doing a really good job of understanding Baylor's pressure is coming, and they're not just trying to defend against it, they're trying to attack it.
Leddie Brown empties the backfield. Dagey on a rollout. Dagey reaching for the 1st down line to gain. And he's got it. 1st and goal just inside the 5.
You know what I love about that play? There was no panic out of Dagey. You could almost tell like he sat in the pocket, nothing was there, break the pocket, still keep my eyes downfield, but don't make a decision until you have to. Finally he goes, I got to go run, there's open space, go get my 1st down.
Leddie Brown looking for the goal line. He's down inside the 1. Well, last week was a 0 blitz week, right? Oklahoma State brought the house after West Virginia over and over again. And Dagey at times, it seemed, saw that rush coming.
Yeah, and almost panicked, and doing a great job today of not doing it.
No panic here. It's a walk-in touchdown for Dagey. What a terrific opening drive for West Virginia.
Rolling on the field. Touchdown, West Virginia.
I think what that drive tells me is West Virginia's coaching staff and their offensive coordinator, Jared Parker, have a great feel for what Baylor wants to do defensively, which is be aggressive and play violent. Great understanding of that and using it against them.
15 plays, 70 yards. Jared Dagey off to a 7-for-9 start through the air and give him a touchdown run to cap it.
All night.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits.
A wonderful tradition that began in Iowa City, but they're doing it in Morgantown here as well. When West Virginia walks over for their home games, they wave at the Children's Hospital over at WVU Medical Center, and that's terrific. And also a terrific thing if you're a Big 12 fan. Big 12 now on ESPN+, an absolute must. Every Monday, you'll get Dave Aranda's press conference. Plus, there's 9 Mountaineer women's volleyball and soccer matches in store. And each Thursday, go all access with the Pokes. Our time, Oklahoma State football. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big 12 now. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Rocky Boyman. A 15-play opening touchdown drive for West Virginia. And now John Lovett on the kickoff return, shy of the 25-yard line. So here's Charlie Brewer. He can do it through the air, and he can do it, Dan, with his legs as well. He is a dual-threat quarterback.
Yeah, that's a term that we throw around in college football, really the NFL nowadays as well. I'd say he's a dual execution quarterback. You know, whatever is necessary on that play to get a positive play and then also to move the chains, Charlie Brewer just seems to do. So someone that they rely on as a steady hand for this offense, and to your point, Bob, can really do it all at a really consistent level.
All day to throw on 1st down. And he's got a 4-yard hookup as he finds Tyquan Thornton. There's only 2 quarterbacks coming back this season that threw for at least 20 touchdowns last year and ran for at least 10. Justin Fields at Ohio State, and this guy, Charlie Brewer. That's pretty good company. Diamond formation on 2nd down and 6, and now flags down. Was there a flinch up front for Baylor?
Full start, number 73. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's the grad transfer from UCLA, the right tackle, Jake Burton. Draw play, and that's going nowhere. Dante Stills draped all over John Lovett. And now well behind the sticks. A long third down coming for Baylor.
You want to talk about a powerful defensive tackle. Watch 55, night, just push you all the way back. I don't care if it's the quarterback or the tailback that's going to get the ball. Pushes Burton all the way back, 6-7 yards behind. That is the exact example of what makes him so good. A powerful, dominant interior player.
You can see Darius and Dante Stills' mom in the stands. And according to Neil Brown, she raised 2 terrific sons. They are a force on the interior for West Virginia. 3rd and 16. 4-man rush. Brewer out of the pocket. He is dangerous. Flips one right at the first down line to gain to R.J. Sneed. They'll mark him out, though.
Rolling on the field is a catch.
Brought him back
Short of the first down.
shy of the first down line to gain by a couple of yards. So it's 4th down for Baylor.
Outstanding job by Sneed, though. Like, look at him come back to the football. That is so close right there. It almost looks like he catches that ball on that yellow line.
But it's his own momentum bringing him back. If he was contacted at the yellow line, that's forward progress. But if you're running back across that yellow line on your own, that's a good spot by the official. So it's a 3-and-out for Baylor. And after a 15-play touchdown drive to open the game, West Virginia about to get the ball back after a sink field fair catch. Mountaineers with a 7-0 lead. Well, in this era of social justice awareness, the Big 12 certainly taking it seriously, and a moment of unity before the game. West Virginia and Baylor, both sidelines locking arms. And both of these schools have started programs in and around their football teams to try and make a difference, Dan, as well.
I love it. It's a great example of how important and how great sports are, how it brings everybody together. Great leadership by the young men in these programs.
Jarrett Dagey back to work. A quick toss to Leddie Brown. He's got close to 9 yards on first down. Back to Kevin Nagandi.
In the swamp on ESPN. Bob, Dan, back to you.
We might have a takeaway in our game as Jarrett Dagey pumped, got caught in the pocket. The ball knocked out by Terrell Bernard. It looked like William Bradley King came up with a fumble recovery for Baylor.
West Virginia's trying to take a shot here. Not there for Dagey. Just watch the right arm coming right there. Swing by Bradley King. Gets that ball out of Dagey's hands. Forces that fumble and turnover for this Baylor defense. Watch the right hand come through just as he's trying to tuck that ball away. The play wasn't there. That is just a perfect example of kind of the long lens. We've seen Bradley King knock a ball down on a pass. Now we see that right hand come through, punch the ball out. Baylor needed that turnover defensively. They were reeling a little bit this early in the football game. Huge forced fumble.
West Virginia was off to a good start last week in Stillwater, allowed a scoop and score that changed that game against Oklahoma State. Charlie Brewer out of the pocket, across his body, inside the 10-yard line. It's a first down catch by Tyquan Thornton. First and goal at the 7.
Really good job by Tyquan Thornton right there. He's running a crossing route. So often guys just run themselves into coverage. He was very boring in the open space. Throttle down.
Downfield, number 56, offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Wipe it away, though. An ineligible man downfield for Baylor. Blake Badie, the senior right guard, just a shade too far downfield, so that'll back Baylor up 5.
Shade like 10 yards, like 10 yards down too far downfield. Really, offensive lineman just being too aggressive.
Love it. Nowhere to go. Ran right into an edge blitz from Tony Fields.
Just watch Tony Fields here. They're going to get double pullers out of the Baylor offense on the right side. Tony Fields shoots, replace where those pullers leave from, and be ready for that handoff. Really good instincts by Tony Fields.
Is there a tendency in terms of alignment where you're calling Tony Fields on that straight blitz when you see Baylor come out in that formation? As Brewer looks for a slant, it's incomplete.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of it is your tape study as a defensive coaching group and going, okay, you know, on first down, they want to run the football, pull to the boundary, and give you a dual threat of running to the field or quarterback keep. And so you go, okay, we're going to shoot our gun from the field, blitz where those pullers are leaving from. Now you leave yourself susceptible, but you got to know as a unit, all 11 guys got to know if we're blitzing from the field, those guys in the boundary got to do a great job of doing their job.
3rd down and 23. That might get them into more reasonable field goal range on the catch by R.J. Sneed. As Charlie Brewer tries to draw John Mayers just a little bit closer, as he's got a field goal kicker that's made 11 in a row. So why take a risk? And now 3 points still possible after the takeaway.
Win for the West Virginia defense, though. This is a win for the Mountaineers.
46 yards out for Mayers. And he misses it. Breaks a streak of 11 consecutive field goals made. And that goes from a win to an even bigger momentum shift for West Virginia. After you cough it up, Baylor comes away empty, no points at all.
I wonder how West Virginia alum Pat McAfee feels. Not good for the brand, a missed kick, but it helps his alma mater. It helps his West Virginia Mountaineer alma mater. So he's probably right now sitting back home doing some television, about to yell somewhere, a little conflicted. Oh, those sideburns.
Those were lamb chops. So after giving the ball away, Jared Dagey and West Virginia dodge a bullet, and they're at their own 29-yard line with a straight-ahead handoff to Alex Sinkfield, and he blasts his way for a first down.
You know, Sinkfield, we talked about Leddie Brown and how physical of a runner he is. Sinkfield's kind of like the change of pace. Let's get him the ball. He can hit creases, maybe get him out on the perimeter. Very explosive runner. You saw it with that quick trap by West Virginia's offensive line.
Dagey, zone read, and Baylor had that bottled up. Nowhere to go for Winston Wright. Picks up a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, it's going to be one if I'm Jared Dagey. Go back to Jared Parker, the play caller for West Virginia. Be like, hey, can we not run that play at Bradley King? He's too long and way more athletic than me. I want to run it to somebody else.
Sinkfield. Down the sideline. Alex Sinkfield with a flag down. Cut down at the 30-yard line of Baylor, but we'll have to go back to the line of scrimmage and check the marker.
Holding, number 54, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
That's a true freshman, Zach Frazier, getting an opportunity at guard.
Spot of the foul.
The left guard, 54, right here. Want you to watch when he engages the linebacker. Not there, but when he engages his linebacker, that's Bernard. Okay, now Bernard tries to leave him, and just that tug right there, the left shoulder by Frazier. Once those officials see that defender kind of try to separate and get almost halted, jerked, that's when they say that's going to come out as a flag.
It's a spot foul, so it sets up 2nd down and 12. Terrell Bernard showing blitz right in the middle of the formation. They'll throw a little bubble screen out to Sam James, and James has 10 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2. Rocky?
Guys, West Virginia's bread and butter run coming into this game was the stretch. Today we're seeing the trap. They got an offensive lineman out, a freshman starting at left guard, and a very fast, explosive defensive front for Baylor. So I love the use of the trap blocks, Dan Orlovsky. You know how what that creates for those vertical seams for that run game.
Yeah, big thing is when you know you've got an aggressive defensive line and play caller, you try to use that against them.
Leddie Brown, 2nd effort, about a foot short. It'll be 4th down and less than 1, just on Baylor's side of the 50.
Yeah, you try to use that against them to help your offense try to hit the ball downhill before the defense is even reacting or understanding what the play is. 4th and 1, I think you can go for this, and I think Jared Dagey go get it himself.
Quarterback sneak, Leddie Brown tried to give Dagey a push. And it looks like he may just have enough. It's the most inexact science in sports, right? There's 12 guys who all weigh anywhere from 300 to 325 pounds laying on top of each other. And a ref runs in from the sideline, just grabs the ball and sticks it on the ground like he knows exactly in this entire mosh pit right where the ball should go. And it is good enough for a West Virginia first down.
The old Reggie Bush shove by Leddie Brown there. That's really what makes that play.
The Bush push.
Yeah.
2 fourth down conversions here in the first half now for West Virginia. Dagey off his back foot, flips it. He had a wide open T.J. Simmons, but threw that one off schedule. Ready for that one tonight? Auburn, Georgia, under the lights. College football prime time presented by PlayStation 5 at 7:30 Eastern tonight on ESPN. That one's got college football playoff implications.
Huge.
Third week of the season.
I'm excited to watch Georgia play quarterback, JT Daniels. You know, like, I'm excited to see. George Pickens is one of the best receivers in all of college football. I want to see if they can get a connection going for that offense.
Sinkfield patiently behind his blockers. 6 yards. Close to 7. Brings up another third down for West Virginia.
You know, Neil Brown talked about how they don't want to have an identity crisis, meaning they're a run-first football team. They want to represent the region that they play in. Their offensive line is doing it so far today. They're being very physical. These double teams just trying to push people. Rocky mentioned those traps, removing people, denting the defense. Really impressive by this offensive line so far. I think they could kick the ball out down here to this bunch set.
Blitz off the edge. Dagey doesn't see it. The ball is loose. Raleigh Tejada came on a quarter blitz, and Dagey had no idea. West Virginia, though, will recover the fumble, and it will be fourth down near midfield.
Fourth down.
You're going to see the corner blitz from up top. Look it down here. Keep your eye on the bunch at the bottom of the screen. Here comes Petrie right there. He's supposed to be blitzing. And that hit from the corner blitz gets home. But that play is made by Jalen Petrie. He should have been blitzing. He senses pass, drops out, and takes out the receiver.
Tyler Sumter into a fair catch. Made by Treston Ebner.
Hopefully you've learned from some of the other pro sports that I've played to set your protocols and handle it appropriately. Obviously a tough loss for New England.
Charlie Brewer under pressure. He'll be sacked back at about the 10-yard line. Jared Bartlett got through, helped out by Darius Stills.
I think one of the things that I admire about West Virginia's defense is they know how good 55 and 56 are, the Stills brothers, and the games they work in the middle.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter. Now that Chiefs-Patriots game, by the way, they're trying to do what the original plan was with the Tennessee game, and that was postpone it to Monday or Tuesday. We'll keep our fingers crossed they can get that game in. Ball got in the end zone for Jared Dagey. That's the only score so far. Baylor needs to get it going offensively as we start the second quarter. They're at their own 10-yard line facing second down and long, and they've got 1 net yard of offense so far in a game West Virginia leads by a touchdown. Gavin Holmes, the motion man. Brewer from his goal line wants to set up the screen, dumps it off to Ebner, and Treston Ebner, who had 4 touchdowns last season, barely picks up 4 yards on this play, or last week I should say. So now it's third down and a mile.
Great discipline by the West Virginia defense, hanging back, not letting your eyes wander where they're not supposed to. And then when you're playing a team that's going to throw screens on you, you as a defensive line have to turn and run to the football. West Virginia's defensive line did that.
Virginia rushes 4 on third down. Zone read going nowhere. Once again, the Stills brothers own the middle of the line of scrimmage as Darius brings down Charlie Brewer. It'll be 4th down after we check in with Kevin Nagandi. Well, Kevin Isaac Power kicking it from his own end zone. Should be great field position for West Virginia. And they'll have it on Baylor's side of the 50-yard line, as that is down at about the Baylor 42. Well, we'll take a look at a special flag that means a lot to West Virginia as we honor those who serve, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. That is Navy Petty Officer John Miller, native to Moundsville, West Virginia, dedicated Mountaineer fan. Throughout his deployment overseas, he carried the West Virginia state flag with him. Upon his return, he gave it to the football team. There is the flag, and that is the flag that now leads West Virginia out of the tunnel and onto the field for their run-ons. Ball tipped down at the line off the quick hitter from Dagey, and that's going to be a pick. A takeaway for Terrell Bernard.
Ruling on the field. Interception. Baylor. 1st down.
The second time the Bears have taken it away from the Mountaineers.
This is just an incredible play by Terrell Bernard. Watch number 2. Come out, jump right into the top of your screen. The athleticism to get up and hit that ball, and then just the hand-eye coordination as you're falling to continue to track it. You kind of get a small sample size right there of what makes him such a kind of special and dynamic player. Outstanding play.
He's on the Bednarik, Butkus, Nagurski, and Warfel watch lists. And after a good start, 15-play touchdown drive for West Virginia, they've turned it over on 2 of their last 3 possessions. So Baylor, they don't have a yard on offense right now. 0 total yards of offense. And yet here they are 1st and 10 with a chance to get things going. Love it. To about the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 5 as Sean Mahone made the stop.
Too many whiffed blocks and hurting themselves of an offense with negative play. Their front 5 got to play better.
Love it again. 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Net by Josh Chandler-Samito. 3rd down and a long 2, close to 3. It's a 4-man rush. 1st down and more. Getting loose, Thornton. All the way down to about the 32-yard line of West Virginia.
Great route by Thornton. Watch him right side of the screen. Set the defender up, cross his face. Charlie Brewer gets the ball out on time, and you see a little catch and run. Really good job of understanding matchups on 3rd down. What guy do you love the matchup on?
Gavin Holmes on the catch and run there, but that's a big 3rd down conversion and the first positive movement for this Baylor offense. Going backwards now and running out of bounds is Charlie Brewer. Takes a 2-yard loss and gets pounded back into the bench area, knocks over a couple of folding chairs. That's a scary knock out of bounds for a very good quarterback at Charlie Brewer. That looked like a late one out of bounds. I'm not sure if a flag was thrown, but I think one should have been if it wasn't.
I mean, you'd love to see somebody on the West Virginia sideline hold him up at some point.
It looked like he was on the sideline when he got pushed. And if he's running sideways out of bounds and he is on the white chalk at the sideline and then takes a bump, and especially
flag
crashing into all of that coaching equipment and folding chairs, that should have been a 15-yard penalty. Incomplete. Intended for Gavin Holmes. 3rd down and 12.
Certainly a situation where you're walking the fine line of, okay, do we want to get 5 or 6 yards to confirm a field goal, but also, is this potentially 4-down territory for our offense? You've done a great job of working the middle of the field. You've got options with your receivers at Gavin Holmes.
Are you calling a play here with the idea you're going to go for it on 4th down? And there it is. It's an underneath hitter to the 30-yard line. So you got about half of what you need. Do you send your field goal kicker back out there to try a 47-yarder, or are you going for it?
I'm probably going for this. I know it's 4th and 7, but we've gotten so many turnovers and have done nothing with them. I got to trust that my quarterback's got 1,000 reps in to go try and get this first down.
And instead, Coach Aranda, not nearly the riverboat gambler that Coach Orlovsky would be. Coach Orlovsky's going for this.
Is there a reason why I'm up here?
Yeah, Coach Aranda's going to kick a field goal. Ayers missed his first attempt after making 11 in a row, stretching back to last season. Trying to start a new streak. It hits the upright, and it's no good. He's 0 for 2. 2 field goal opportunities for Baylor. 2 misses, and it's still a 7-0 West Virginia lead.
They've gotten some turnovers. Baylor defensively have not capitalized on West Virginia right now doing the little things of 7-0.
Should have listened to Coach Orlovsky. John Mayers with 2 misses, 46 and 48 yards after he had made 11 in a row. And Baylor has taken the ball away twice and still nothing on the scoreboard to show for it. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Rocky Boyman. Back to the offense and a quick bubble screen. Rice Ford Wheaton easily picks up the first down. Another check-in with Kevin Nagani.
Far for the offense. They're down 7-0.
That offense with Sam Ehlinger usually is rolling, so we'll keep our eyes on whether or not Texas can get by TCU. Leddie Brown cannot get by William Bradley King. A loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. Baylor showing blitz. Quick little pop pass to the tight end right at the line of scrimmage. Mike O'Loughlin has nowhere to go as he is met by Jalen Petrie. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Great just recognition by Petrie, understanding of where he was in the defense, shed the blocker, and go make that play. He's listed as a safety. This guy's going to be down near the football almost every single snap. Too good of a football player.
He's the only player remaining from that 2017 recruiting class that stretches back to the Art Briles era and the scandals that ensued. And through all of it, he stayed because he believed in this program. 4-man rush. Dagey. That's going to be intercepted. Picked off. J.T. Woods, pardon me, all the way down to the 30-yard line. The 3rd first-half takeaway for Baylor, down by 7, but now they are well within striking distance.
Interception, Baylor, first down.
Just the zone coverage by Baylor defensively. This linebacker is going to drop back. I want you to keep vision on this defender. Here comes this in route. That defender is too deep for you to throw that football. Watch, he sinks, he sinks, he sinks. And Jarrett Dagey forces the ball over the top. Great job in zone coverage of those defenders getting as deep as they're supposed to in their zone.
First career interception for J.T. Woods. And now a chance to finally get some points on the board for Baylor. John Lovett brought down, but a flag down as well.
Holding, number 61. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
So Khalil Keith costs his team 10 yards.
Man, this Baylor offensive line right now is just hurting their football team. Negative plays and penalties. You get the turnover, you get a positive play on first down, and now you're stuck back with 1st and 20.
And Khalil Keith gets a chance to visit the sideline, replaced by Jason Moore, the backup center, who's now at left guard. Play action, Brewer up the seam, tipped ball, flag down, interception. A takeaway right back for West Virginia. Troy Fortune ends up with the loose ball. Let's check the penalty marker and see if West Virginia will indeed hold on to the football. Who's got the football? We're about to find out, as this has been a mistake-filled first half for both of these teams. As right after Dakey forces one, Charlie Brewer made the same mistake.
Pass interference, number 5. Defense, spot foul, automatic, first down.
But Baylor is bailed out by a Drayshawn Miller pass interference penalty.
I think that's a terrible play, or terrible penalty, terrible flag. That is a bang-bang play. The receiver drifts on his own. That should not have been pass interference. That's a bad penalty thrown.
And now the officials, looks like they're going to change the spot of the football. Either that or they're swapping the football out. Maybe the wrong football was on the field. I think a West Virginia football may have been on the field. And they've got to get a Baylor one out there, as it did turn out to be Baylor football. And now Gary Bohannon, pardon me, takes over at quarterback. And he'll run it. And Bohannon picks up about 1.5 yards. Well, let's go back to the penalty, Dan, and your criticism of this call.
Yeah, you're going to see right here. That's the corner and the receiver running together. That receiver starts to drift on his own. That ball is thrown 1 yard behind that wide receiver. That is not pass interference.
Timeout on the field.
So what should have been a takeaway for West Virginia goes against them, and they've got an injured player as well.
College football, presented by PlayStation 5 on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
Eve's starting to turn in Morgantown. And tonight, ESPN College Football Primetime takes us to the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Georgia, Auburn, between the hedges at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Clemson in action tonight as well on the ACC network. Alabama, Texas A&M this afternoon. There's some big games involving teams in the top 10. And now you start to see, with the return to play of the Big Ten, Ohio State's up there, as we're returning everyone now to the college football rankings. And Charlie Brewer, after missing one play, having his shoulder worked on, is back in there. Rocky, and he puts his team in the red zone.
Yes, he did. He was on the sideline getting that shoulder looked at. They were doing some strength tests on that shoulder, and he looked to be in some discomfort, but he shook it off, came back into the huddle, and just completed a nice pass.
The big thing is just, are you capable of holding the football and making the throws?
Now it's goal to go. Ebner to the 7-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Brought down by Tyke Smith.
I like the fact of Baylor offensively right now has gotten Charlie Brewer out on the perimeter, moved the pocket. I think with the Stiller brothers on the inside, down in the red zone, I want to see if they're going to throw the ball, get him outside these tackles.
Justin Ebner again. Another yard. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Dante Stills held the middle.
The way West Virginia has been playing their red zone defenses, it's almost like a picket fence. They try to put 3, 4, 5 guys almost in a straight line right at the goal line. What you have to do as a play caller is put something in front of them, some eye candy in front of them, and a big, tall receiver wrapped behind them, and have Charlie Brewer go low to high. That ball's got to get up high, face mask or higher, back in the end zone.
Here comes a blitz. Brewer well protected. One-on-one in the end zone. R.J. Sneed. He's got it for a Baylor touchdown.
Rolling on the field, a touchdown.
It's exactly what West Virginia does, and Baylor calls the perfect play. Watch Sneed at the bottom of the screen, 0. He's got inside leverage, set him, and just continue to move back across that end line. The ball placement's really important. Up high by Charlie Brewer. Up high, coming into your living room right there, right at Sneed's face mask. Outstanding play design and execution. Brewer to Sneed.
And how important is that Drayshawn Miller very questionable pass interference call now kept the drive alive for Baylor, and they're on the board. Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, they'll be looking at Monday Night Football, but also after coaching Peyton Manning, Big Ben, and Andrew Luck, Bucs head coach Bruce Arians reveals the secrets he's passed on to Tom Brady. Plus, Randy Moss ranks the best catches from today's college football action. Kick off your Sunday morning with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Remember when they drafted Jordan Love and hung Aaron Rodgers out to dry on draft day? And boy, that Packers team was really going to struggle. How's that looking? He seems okay.
Yeah, supposedly he still doesn't stink.
I think he's all right. Winston Wright dragged down at the 24-yard line. Kevin Nagandi.
I was drafted the same year as Aaron. Same division. I was drafted to the Lions significantly later than Aaron was drafted to the Packers. Rightfully so. I've played in 2 games against Aaron Rodgers where he has completed 20-plus passes straight against us. Do you know what it's like standing on the sideline going, okay, that's completion number 21 in a row.
Dagey in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Leddie Brown tries to turn the corner. He's got nowhere to go. Side-to-side speed from that defensive front for Baylor. And Rocky, that's another tackle for loss for the Bears.
Well, I just wanted to comment, Dan, you think you're frustrated when you see a quarterback complete 20 straight passes. Imagine being on defense like I've been when those things have happened. There's just nothing you can do to stop them, and very, very demoralizing.
The great thing is when, like, coaches would be like, hey, you're running our scout team this week. You got to, impersonate Aaron Rodgers. And I would look at him like, yeah, gotcha.
Edge blitz, tunnel screen right behind it. Well designed, and Sam James. He's got a first down. That looked like the perfect play call for the defense that Baylor was running in West Virginia.
Yeah, off the left side of your screen, you're going to see Petrie flying in, and you anticipate that pressure. If you're Jared Parker, the play caller for West Virginia, get the ball to the quarterback's hands for the screen. Outstanding, just expectation, anticipation by a play caller.
Dagey, quick hitter. Again, it's Sam James. It's another first down.
This West Virginia offense is so much better when it stays itself in rhythm. Get the ball to Dagey's hands. Run the football. We always hear the phrase, stay ahead of the chains, right? Some teams can play with explosive offense, and some teams just got to stay 4 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards. West Virginia does that. They're complete control of their offense.
Leddie Brown lost 2. Collapsed behind the line. Ryan Miller, the junior, just activated for today's game, making an impact move on the interior of that offensive line for West Virginia, and we've got a flag down.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 0, offense, 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. The down counts, 2nd down.
This is all on Bryce Ford Wheaton. Just a lack of composure and understanding. This is him. Watch how he goes and late hit Petrie right there. Play's already going to be over. You're going to see the run. It's a great stop by the Baylor defense. He's going down there. But got to have better discipline in that moment.
Shouldn't have done what he did.
Correct.
But in this era of COVID, the officials are using electronic whistles or virtual whistles that a lot of the players have said are hard to hear. I wonder if he just didn't hear a whistle as they swing past the Leddie Brown is bottled up. Now the officials also have a handheld whistle, the regular conventional whistle that players have heard their whole lives, where they are able to use those whistles as well. I'm just trying to make an excuse for poor Bryce Ford Wheaton. You laid him out. I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help him out. You're not buying it?
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, you're looking at me like you weren't buying it.
I think that is a lack of discipline.
It probably was. Right up the gut, Leddie Brown. Carrying tacklers out to midfield. And now it's 4th down and about 6 after a 20-yard run. JT Woods made the stop. Rocky?
North-south runs by West Virginia. You're not going to beat this speedy Baylor defense to the sidelines. Keep coming downhill the way they are. And also want to comment, Bob, down here on field level, it is very, very hard to hear the whistles. There's no fans in the stands. Should be able to make them out very, very clearly, but to your point, cannot.
All right, Rocky's on my side. I love when the two of us are able to team up and take the opposite point of view of Dan Orlovsky. Play clock down to 1. It goes to 0. And let's see, is West Virginia going to call a timeout here? Or they're just going to take a delay of game penalty?
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down. What's the call?
Not sure why Coach Brown wouldn't have used a timeout there, maybe to save his punt group 5 yards, but they're going to be punting from near midfield, so I guess he'll save that timeout, maybe to use for his offense coming up. And the State Farm halftime report with Kevin, Mark Sanchez, and Booger McFarland standing by. They'll have a check-in on Texas TCU, the battle in the swamp as well between South Carolina and the Gators, and a preview of the game tonight between the hedges. Tyler Sumter with a rugby kick. And that's a dangerous play to field it on a hop by Treston Ebner at the 6-yard line. Covered well by West Virginia. West Virginia hurt themselves last week, hurting themselves again this week, Dan. 3 turnovers, and yet they're in a 7-7 tie.
Yeah, I think Neil Brown, again, is in that walk the fine line of, gosh, we got to clean some stuff up, but feeling okay with all those mistakes still in a tie game.
Now they've got, at least for the moment, Baylor pinned deep, but John Lovett is going to change field position with this run. A flag down. Out of bounds by Tyke Smith. We'll have to check the penalty marker.
I think they're going to get...
Holding, number 9. Offense, half the distance of the goal. Still 1st down.
That's the wide receiver, Tyquan Thornton, that is called for the hold.
He was fighting with Drayshawn Miller, the corner. Miller tried to separate. They got Thornton for the flag. Another self-inflicted wound for Baylor offensively on a good positive play.
Love it. To the edge. Out of bounds at the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. It was fun talking some football this week with Larry Fedora about his relationship with Charlie Brewer and this offense as a whole.
Yeah, how they kind of set their game plan up. You know, they sit down on Thursday afternoon and they go over the game plan and say, hey, Charlie, what are the plays that you do like? What are the plays that you don't like?
I think he likes handing it off from time to time to John Lovett. That gets them a 1st down.
And if Charlie Brewer goes, I don't like this play, Larry Fedora totally throws it out. And then if it's I'm uncertain about this play, they sit down and they talk about it. Okay, why don't you like it? Let's try to figure out if this is something we can keep in our game plan. They make their decision, and then they move forward. And then on Fridays...
Lovett again with another flag down. If the play stands, it's a 1st down.
Fridays, they sit down and go through their 3rd down and red zone situations. And they'll go exactly kind of on the same process of what are the things that you... 3rd down and 3, what do you love here? And Charlie Brewer, tell him, and that's what he'll kind of order it. This is the first one.
Number 55, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
Xavier Newman Johnson, the center.
Just watch Newman Johnson here right in the center of your screen. There's going to be the hold. Did not play last week. Back this week. Stills tries to separate. But they go to 3rd and 3. Hey, what's the number 1 call you want on 3rd and 3? 3rd and 7, what's the number 1? So Charlie Brewer goes into the game understanding in what situation is going to be the play call. And Larry Fedora, I've only experienced that in the NFL. It's brilliant because Larry Fedora is now telling his quarterback, almost giving him the keys to the game before the game ever starts.
Ebner near the 20-yard line. It also gives the quarterback a lot of ownership of the game plan.
And it just a confidence. You know exactly what's going to come. And so Larry Fedora pointed this out that he can't do that stuff unless he's got a great relationship with Charlie Brewer. Because Charlie Brewer's got to be good enough to go, coach, I don't want this play. Get it out. And Gary Kubiak was the first coach that I was around that did that with me. We would sit down the night before a game. He would do the same stuff. Kubiak would actually take us and go, okay, 3rd down and 3, we're going to go 200 jet dragon lion, which is a slant flat one side, double slants on another side. And we as quarterbacks would have to sit there and tell Coach Kubiak what was the number 1 issue with our protection that we had to be ready for, what was the call, And then why would we would read a certain side? Hey, middle field closed, one safety. We would go slant, flat, check down. Two safeties, we would go inside slant, outside slant, check down. And so it just gave us that great confidence of preparation. And I think Fedora is doing exactly that for Charlie Brewer.
He had a run-oriented offense a lot at North Carolina. Of course, when he had Mitch Trubisky, they would certainly be an aerial attack. But the head coach at North Carolina, 2012 to 2018. Back in his old stomping grounds, though, the first year running the offense for Baylor. West Virginia called a timeout, as they're going to try and save some time if they can get a stop with Baylor behind the sticks here. Brewer over the middle, and that'll stop the clock for the Mountaineers. So it will be 3rd down and 12 with 1:41 to go before halftime.
Charlie Brewer's been under a lot of pressure today. This West Virginia defensive line is outstanding. Again, the Stills brothers on the inside, but you want to see Charlie Brewer hang in there and try to make that throw. I thought it was pass interference on Tony Fields, but just that Baylor offensive line's got to give him just a second longer to get through his progressions.
Big play here, 3rd down and 12 as West Virginia spent a timeout to try and save some time for their offense if they can get the ball back. And it will be conservatively played by Baylor here, as they're going to give the ball back to the Mountaineers and force West Virginia to at least call another timeout here.
Timeout, West Virginia, 2nd and a half. 30 seconds in length.
Noah Guzman makes the stop for West Virginia, and this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you to Allstate. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Rocky Boyman bringing you West Virginia and Baylor. We thought this was going to be a Charlie Brewer against Jared Dagey kind of day, and as we take a look at the quarterback comparison so far, the 2 picks thrown by Dagey have not victimized West Virginia much so far.
Yeah, I think a little bit of Jared Dagey just trying to do too much, hanging in the pocket just a second too long with the fumble. The interception that was made by Terrell Bernard is just really a great play. You know, it's just a great play. And then for Charlie Brewer, he's been a little bit of a victim of his offensive line. You know, I think he's doing as much as he can right now. Their offensive line has got to play better, and they got to get themselves into favorable 2nd and 3rd down situations.
West Virginia trying to set up a return for Alex Sinkfield. He's going to let this one bounce, and it's going to take a terrific Baylor roll. That flips the field to the 26-yard line.
Came into this game talking about Baylor's pressure. This is called a green dog. Watch the linebacker. He sees, okay, my tailback is going to be part of protection. I'll fire. Terrell Bernard gets in on that sack fumble. This play by Jalen Petrie special. He's supposed to be a blitzer. That back swinging out, he takes away that back. It makes Dagey hold on to that ball for just another second. And Tejada makes that sack fumble again. Baylor's going to be a team that comes after you, but they play smart. They're safely aggressive. Their defensive coordinator, Ron Roberts, it's very similar to what Don Capers used to do in the NFL. They wanted to be aggressive, but they always made sure they were smart in doing so.
Well, Dave Aranda, back when he began his career at Delta State, was the defensive coordinator for Ron Roberts when he was the head coach there. So now the pupil becomes the mentor. It's now Dave Aranda, who won a national championship last year as the defensive coordinator for Coach Orgeron in Baton Rouge, brings his old mentor in to run his defense. Minute to go in the first half. Dagey back to throw. Still has a timeout to work with. He's going to throw that one away. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Speaking of Dave Aranda and Ron Roberts, Aranda told us the story that before the college football playoff game with LSU last year, they're going to get ready for Oklahoma, and he goes and interviews for a job. And in that moment, he realized, I can't do both. I can't be the head coach and the defensive coordinator play caller. And that's when he said, I've got to hire somebody that I believe in, that I trust in, that has somewhat of the same vision of me. And that's what led him to making the decision to hire Ron Roberts as his play caller.
Bears show blitz. Here they come. Swing pass to Sinkfield. One-on-one in the flat. And now Baylor should call a timeout. You would think Dave Aranda would immediately stop the clock to try and get some time to get his offense back on the field, and they will. With 49 seconds to go in the half.
First of the half. 30 seconds.
Now, Dave Aranda, it was almost like he was a football Sherpa when we were talking to him on the phone this week, right? I mean, he really is philosophical in how he crawls inside the game, but he has visited and spent time and coached with a lot of different types of coaches that he calls mentors, and here's just part of the group.
Well, how about this? He said Mike Leach gives his authenticity, gives him the strength to kind of be himself. Gary Anderson taught him how to make a connection with the players. Les Miles taught him to just bring energy to practice, and then Coach O was nothing but in love with his players in the program. And so, you know, when you ask him who's impacted you the most and how, he goes on this long line of like a little nugget that he's taken from the guys he's been a part of.
Tyler Sumter. It is a fair catch made by Treston Ebner. Rocky?
No, I just wanted to add in that conversation about the discussion we had with Dave Aranda. I could have done that for another couple hours. I don't know about you guys, and not even ask about football. I wanted to ask him about how to be a better parent. I wanted to ask him how to solve global hunger. He just seems a very, very smart, intuitive guy, and just a guy, if I'm a young kid, 18, 19 years old, and he comes in my living room and sits down with my parents and talks to me, I want to go play football for him.
I want to make sure that I hammer this point home. He said a guy like Mike Leach, who's completely authentic, gives him strength, Dave Aranda, to be himself. You don't hear coaches say that a lot, and that was my favorite moment with him.
Charlie Brewer, he's going to run and pick up a first down and more. 15-yard gain for Brewer. Stops the clock, at least for the moment. 35 seconds to go in the first half, and Baylor still has 2 timeouts left as well. 3-man rush up the sideline to Gavin Holmes. Close to a first down.
Really good operation right now by Charlie Brewer. You've got 26 seconds on the clock. You've got 2 timeouts left. Worst case scenario, this ball is a field goal attempt at the end of this half. So short completions don't do a ton for you inside the numbers. Ball's got to get outside the numbers. Incompletions are okay. You've got to conserve as much time as possible.
Only a 3-man rush again. Brewer out of the pocket, tripped up from behind by Darius Stills. And that will cost Baylor yardage. End of timeout.
Timeout. Baylor.
Preseason Big
seconds.
12 Defensive Player of the Year. He might earn that during the regular season now. And there have been some missed opportunities for Baylor. John Mayers came in on an 11-game hitting streak, so to speak. He had made 11 field goals in a row, but missed a couple when they had a chance to turn takeaways into points.
Missed opportunities for Baylor. The confidence right now, where is it with your kicker? Especially at the end of this half, where do you have to get to? You probably got to get somewhere around the 30-yard line to feel confident in a kick, and that is part of your play calling right now for Larry Fedora. Okay, first of all, we got 6 yards to go get our first down. Now, when we get our first down, is our plan to call timeout? Do we get out of bounds? Do we want to conserve that timeout and just get to the line of scrimmage and clock something? There's a lot of moving parts here. What they should do, you call your play for a third down, you get up and immediately clock the football. That's going to leave you around 10, 12 seconds. Then you've got maybe a shot or 2 max to go get another 8, 9, 10 yards to have that field goal attempt.
And they still have a timeout, so the entire field and playbook should be at their disposal. 3rd down and 6. Lovett empties the backfield. Brewer out of the pocket. Flag down in the secondary. Josh Fleeks was the intended receiver. Jake Long knocked it away. Have to check the marker. It looks like Baylor is going to get a free first down.
Holding on an eligible receiver, number 5, defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic.
Look at Drayshawn Miller up top. They're going to motion the tailback Lovett out. That's him right there. Watch when Lovett releases downfield. Drayshawn is just going to ride and hold. Right, the tug right there. That's pass interference. You're not needed. That's a tailback. He's not trying to throw him the football. Another self-inflicted wound for Neil Brown's Mountaineers.
Another 6 yards or so, and they'll be in field goal range. And Brewer That's a drop by Fleeks that would have put them in field goal range and also given them a first down.
You still have your whole playbook here. The big thing is everybody on your offense needs to know the situation. 8 seconds. You could throw maybe 5 or 6 yard route. That receiver has to get down, and you peg your timeout.
Five seconds to go. If you extend the play here, you might end the half. 2 seconds to go. That's going to end the half for Baylor. Tyquan Thornton runs out of bounds. That needed to be a quick hitter, and that is just not clock awareness on the part of the quarterback or the receiver.
Is under further review.
The clock went to all zeros. I guess replay is going to take another look to see if it should have. But extending the play here, Dan, it seems, in a spot where you just don't have the time to do it.
Well, listen, Charlie Brewer's trying to just get the ball out of his hands. But if Tyquan Thornton catches that football, goes to the ground right in that moment, you can bang that timeout and have a field goal attempt. So this is coming down to, one, has Baylor practiced this situation and clearly communicated it to their kids? In that situation, you've got 5 or 6 seconds. Catch the ball and give yourself up. And if you do, you can get that timeout. Thornton going to the out. You might have 1 second left on that clock.
Did you see the clock? There was a freeze on that clock. Watch how long 2 seconds is up there. Then it goes from 1 to 0 almost in a split second. He steps out of bounds. There's 2 on the clock. But watch how fast, if we roll this forward, it goes from 1 to 0. That's a clock problem.
Yeah,
now,
right?
You may be able to make the argument that there should be a second on the clock because it jumped from 2 to 0 so quickly. But I'm not sure what the hiccup was there on the clock. It looks, though, as if they will put 1 second back up, and they will give Mares an opportunity to try and kick a field goal. Baylor's got the field goal group out there, so they're certainly anticipating that. And it looks like they may get Noah Rauschenberg out there. Are they going to make a kicking change? They are. That's not John Mares. That's the backup kicker, Noah Rauschenberg.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds with 1 second left on the game clock. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 34-yard line. And the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 second. It's going to go on the snap.
That's well done by the replay booth, because that hiccup in the clock made it look like it went to all zeros when really there should have been a second on the clock. That's what they decide. And now after Mares missed a couple, they're going to give the sophomore from Tulsa, Noah Rauschenberg, an opportunity. Rauschenberg from 51 yards. It's blocked. And that will end the half. A flag down as well. Before the two teams leave the field, we have to sort out the penalty marker. Will Rauschenberg get another opportunity? Obviously, Neil Brown thinks this call is going to go against his Mountaineers. He was upset that the flag was down. Not sure what's taking so long for the officials to explain why the flag was thrown and then determine whether or not Rauschenberg is going to get another opportunity.
The only thing I could think of is, one, did someone align off sides, and are they confirming that that defender checked with the official? Or two, the protection of the center, the long snapper, excuse me. Was there some form of contact that an official saw to the long snapper, and how is that going to be processed out?
If you even line up over the long snapper, then
which they did not.
15-yard penalty. And at some point, they need to emerge here from the Geneva Convention and explain to us what the flag is and whether or not we're going to end the half.
The fact that you think I know what the Geneva Convention is depressing to me.
Well, you're a quarterback. I'm a nerd. We'll deal with it later.
There's no foul on the play. The ball was deemed dead when number 56 ran onto the field. That's the half.
All right, so we are tied at 7 at halftime. We'll send you to the studio. Kevin Negandhi, Mark Sanchez, and Booger McFarland. They'll update the highlights and scores. The halftime report is on the way after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. From Morgantown, it's ESPN College Football presented by PlayStation 5. And welcome back to the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. West Virginia and Baylor in the first half combined for 14 total possessions. 3 turnovers, 3 field goals, 6 punts, only 2 touchdowns scored. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Rocky Boyman covering Baylor and West Virginia. So both of these teams blowing a lot of different opportunities to change the game in the first half.
Yeah, a lot of times in football, when it comes to the games, you ask the question, like, who's going to be the person to make the play to help us win? Today with these two teams, it's right now, who's going to be the team to not make the mistakes to allow them to play better in the second half and hopefully win this game? Leadership will be paramount. Doing the little things will have to show off for either team to come out with the win.
Baylor will start the third quarter with the football. Returnable. Love it from the goal line. Or check that, Ebner. And he's bottled up. Doesn't even make it to the 20-yard line. Well, it's time now to look back at the first half with our Pacific Life game summary.
Really started early on with a sack fumble. Daggy holding on the football too long. Another pressure by Baylor's defense. Tejada forces the fumble again. And then a pick by Terrell Bernard, excuse me. Another interception thrown by Daggy. It's been the story of the Baylor defense in the first half. If they continue to play that way and their offense cleans it up a little bit, they'll come out of here with a win.
Charlie Brewer back in the shotgun from his own 19-yard line after 10 of 14 for only 90 yards in the first half for the senior quarterback. He's going to roll off play action here and do it with his legs. Slides with a 16-yard gain on the first play of the third quarter.
Talked a little bit in the first half of getting Charlie Brewer on the edge. This is a bootleg. And you can take that tight end if you want, but if you feel that defender follow and that gap open up, trust your eyes.
Love it. Behind the line, he is brought down. Darius Stills helped out by Chandler Samido as those two combine for a tackle for loss. Brewer off play action, and he ends up underneath Darius Stills again. Well, Rocky, that was the pair, Dante and Darius Stills, that we thought could be the big factor in this game, and they have been.
Well, there's no question. I caught up with a very frustrated Dave Aranda heading into halftime. He said we got to find a way to run the ball. But I would add the biggest issue they are having is their front three. Guard, center guard, not doing a good job handling the Stills brothers and establishing that line of scrimmage. It's got to change.
Well, the Stills brothers last season combined for 26 tackles for loss and 14 sacks. And Darius Stills with another sack there. 3rd and 21. Brewer, high throw, well short of the sticks. Jake Long with the stop on Tyquan Thornton. So negative plays, creates 4th down, creates a punt.
Kind of a repeat of the first half for Baylor. A good play, and then you hurt yourself by either a penalty or, to your point, Bob, a negative play. Credit West Virginia. The Stills brothers have been dominant. But there's got to be something for West Virginia, or Baylor's offense, excuse me, that settles them in and maybe start getting the ball out on the perimeter, minimize 55 and 56's impact.
Isaac Power. Good kick. Alex Sinkfield forced into a fair catch at his own 15-yard line. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Today is the first meeting as head coaches between Neil Brown and Dave Aranda. When was their last meeting?
I mean, very open-ended question. They could have kicked it and gotten dinner.
Yeah, that's exactly.
On the football field?
Last Wednesday, when they went out for pizza together, was their last meeting. That'll be the answer.
I love pizza.
Special teams changes field position for Baylor. Can their defense make it stand up? Flags down. It'll be 1st and 15. As it looks like West Virginia will cost themselves 5.
False start, 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
We are not going to keep you in suspense. You want the answer to our Aflac trivia question. The last meeting between Neil Brown and Dave Aranda, as this is the first meeting as head coaches back in 2017 when Troy upset LSU.
I was going to guess that.
Yeah, I know you were. Diggy to Leddie Brown. Season turned out okay for LSU. You know, and I would say overall the way the program then seemed to, like the trajectory of the program seemed to be okay last year.
Yeah, rumor has it they had a successful season.
They weren't bad,
I think.
Well, they've got an injured Mountaineer as Bryson Mays is down, so we'll step aside. Is pending the outcome of further COVID testing for both programs, because Tennessee and their game, as Leddie Brown picks up 3 or 4 yards. Dan Orlovsky, that game was also going to be postponed just a couple of days, but then further testing with Tennessee resulted in that game being bumped with Baltimore to week 7. So we'll see if the game gets played on Tuesday. But your reaction when you heard the news about Cam Newton and now the trickle-down effect?
Yeah, I mean, paramount to keep player safety and coach safety. Anybody in those organizations' safety at the forefront. Also understanding that this season for college football, for the NFL, was going to be about being nimble, adjusting, understanding that not everything's going to be perfect. And I'm hopeful that the NFL has their protocols in place to kind of handle everything that's getting thrown at them.
Nagy on 3rd down. And about a yard short, Winston Wright will be stopped. Now, we've got other sports that have operated in a bubble. And MLB is going to go to a postseason bubble now that the wild card round is done. Would you think about putting the NFL in a bubble, and can you do that during the regular season?
Yes, because the reality is, if you don't, can we pull off the season? I've been saying it for months. It takes every team in the NFL about $15 million for the season to bubble up their organization, about 150 people, players, coaches, front office, and everything. You can do that. Your annual income is about $250 million. As an NFL organization, right? And so if it costs you $15, $20 million to bubble up and pull it off, it's challenging, and you've got to be willing to spend time away from your family for that long. But if it's the best chance to pull off this season and earn your salary as a player, then I think the NFL would be all for it. And I think a great majority of the players would be as well.
We've got a flag thrown on the punt.
There's no foul for illegal substitution by the kicking team. The player running off was the 11th man.
So it will be Baylor football with pretty good field position. Now, I'll play devil's advocate. I don't think it's necessary to bubble up the NFL. Just by virtue of the nature of football, you're kind of already in a bubble. As long as you go home and go to the facility, it's kind of a 7 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon job.
Yes.
And when you go on the road 8 times a year in the NFL, you're gone for a night. You go from the bus to the plane to your hotel, to the bus to the game to the plane. I mean, it's not like baseball where you're in multiple cities traveling for a week, 10 days at a time. I could certainly understand why you'd get more positives in baseball as Lovett picks up a yard. I would think that you may not want to overreact to what is still a very small percentage of positives in a very big league with a lot of personnel. I mean, the NFL through training camp of the first couple of weeks of the season were extraordinarily successful in keeping testing numbers down.
The only two caveats I would put into that are the reason why they were successful in training camp, because it is a bubble. You stay with your team, and you don't go home. And that would be the issue for me is, yes, if you go to the facility and home, it's great. But I've got a wife. We've got children. We're all going to grocery store, the pharmacy. My kids go to school. So it may not be me being reckless outside at a restaurant. It might just be that the rest of my family is still going and living their lives, so to speak, and doing the necessary things. So that's why the bubble would protect that potential interaction between my family and I.
Big play for Baylor here. 3rd down and 5 at midfield. Brewer tripped up behind the line. He goes down again. Well, his escapability has not fooled the front 7 so far, and particularly the defensive line for West Virginia. The freshman Akeem Mesidor gets the sack.
Yeah, Mesidor just splits the guard and the tackle. Effort. True freshman come through, shove that guard out of the way, and continue to go, just trip Brewer up. You know, okay, we got the Stills brothers. Maybe we could block them up. And then Mesidor comes in, a true freshman from Ottawa, and he's the one that takes down Brewer.
Sinkfield, fair catch at his own 22-yard line. 7-7 in the 3rd. This season in college football and how things have been delayed, they're going to give themselves a little bit more of a sample size before they start putting out some rankings, and that seems like the wise move.
Yeah, give yourself a little cushion for the unknown, right? For the potential for the necessary adjustments that might happen given the state of COVID football in 2020.
First drive of the game for West Virginia was 15 plays, 70 yards, and a touchdown. 7 possessions since. They have generated 103 total yards.
A lot of it is self-induced mistakes. A lot of it is drops. We just saw a 1st down drop right there. Getting behind the chains. You're not built to play in 2nd and 10 football.
Looks like a sideline football got loose. So that is why the officials are going to reset the play clock and stop play for a moment. Tied at 7, and it has been a struggle for West Virginia on the offensive side of the ball since the first drive. I guess get off the script, having to adjust, and now a false start.
False start, number 50, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Came onto the game today, and we said one of the things that Jarret Doege needed to do was take ownership of this offense. It is needed in this moment right now. As a quarterback, your team has been struggling. You just come out and you go drop. The play gets blown dead for something, and a false start by your redshirt freshman tackle. This is the moment where you rally everybody together, take a deep breath, focus on my voice, and take command of your football team.
Finds a check down, and not much there for Winston Wright. It'll be 3rd down and long. Well, Neil Brown told us Jarret Doege, quite frankly, did not play well enough last week. We need him to be better this week. And he swings one to Sinkfield, but Sinkfield's got no chance to get anywhere near the 1st down marker, as he's brought down by Jalen Petrie after a gain of only 3.
You know, West Virginia on that 3rd down decides to play with tempo, and they think they got a matchup and they can find it, and no one wins. Doege gets the ball out of his hands. Petrie did an outstanding job of running to his help. He used the sideline as an extra defender. He stays inside of Sinkfield and makes a great tackle. West Virginia just got to stop hurting themselves on offense and getting them in 2nd and 3rd and longs.
Justin Ebner back deep to receive the punt. Rugby-style kick to try and avoid a return. And Ebner's going to field it on a hop and get great field position for Baylor. So he makes West Virginia pay for that kick style. Carrying on the family tradition. And we asked Neil Brown, the head coach of the Mountaineers about Charlie Brewer. He said, look, it's the highest compliment I can give him. His dad's a winner. His uncles were winners. He's a winner. And right now, he's been bottled up by this West Virginia defense. Going to take a shot here, though, to start off this drive. Incomplete down the sideline. That looked like excellent coverage from Nick Troy Fortune as we check in with Kevin Nagandi. I don't think our two quarterbacks in our game have combined for that kind of production. As once again, it is a take what the defense gives you, short completion to R.J. Snead. And Dan, once again, Charlie Brewer is faced with a third down.
But at least this third down is going to be somewhat manageable, 3rd and 6. The thing that Charlie Brewer has not done up until this point today, that he's going to need to do on this third down and moving forward, play faster. There's guys that are getting open. He needs to let the ball out of his hands before they are wide open. You know, anticipate those guys getting open. Understand West Virginia's going to play some zone coverage. Get it out and let those guys work in space.
Only 3 for 10 on third down. Third down and 8. Play clock at 5. Brewer wants the football, and his offensive line wasn't ready, or his center wasn't ready, because it seemed like everyone but the center snapping the ball was set to move. So it'll be 3rd and 13.
False start. Everyone but the center. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
You know what that means? It was the center's fault.
Well, this is what happened. They motioned the back out. And when you motion people out, it changes their protection, you know, the rules of the offensive line, because if you motion a guy out and a linebacker goes with them, well, you don't have to pay attention to him anymore. And that's what happened. They motion him out. Newman Johnson going, okay, the linebacker left. Now we're going to go to a different person for our responsibilities. That takes some time to communicate, and it ended up hurting their offense.
There's only 3 on the play clock at the time. 3rd and 13. Only a 3-man rush. So Brewer has all day. Nowhere to go with the football. And eventually he goes down. A 3-man rush gets there, but a sack is followed by a flag. Jeffrey Pooler finally got through to Charlie Brewer. The coverage sack at the moment for West Virginia. But let's check the marker.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Third down.
That's the 4th or 5th flag, it seems, that has been picked up during this game.
Correction. 4th down.
Just watch the coverage by the West Virginia secondary. Tell me if you see somebody open for Baylor. Nope. Lockdown, lockdown, scramble, plaster when the quarterback moves. Just outstanding all-11 defensive play by West Virginia. No one there for Charlie Brewer. He can't escape the West Virginia rush.
Isaac Power gets it away. Another fair catch called for and made by Sinkfield. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by Capital One. And we are all anxiously awaiting the return of Big Ten football as well, because Ohio State and Penn State, they are back as a part of the AP Top 25, and they're both in the top 10. Miami with the week off as well. But Clemson tonight, they'll take on Virginia over on the ACC network. And the big one, of course, number 4 against number 7 at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Georgia, Auburn. That's certainly the game of the week.
I think we'll learn a lot about some SEC teams today. You know, even Alabama playing A&M. Jimbo will do a good job of calling what Alabama's defense was such a weakness last year, calling plays against attacking them, and then Auburn, Georgia, like, who's for real? We think both teams are really good, but this is a year of unknown. Can Georgia score enough points? Will Bo Nix take a huge jump forward in his second season?
Leddie Brown picked up 11, and he is late getting off the field.
I really think for West Virginia offensively right now, and their play caller, Jared Parker, this is about discipline. Can you be disciplined enough? You talked about your identity, wanting to run the, show me the discipline of just continuing to go, we're going to run the football, and not get too greedy with your pass game.
Actually marked him down after a gain of 9, so now Sinkfield gets outside, picks up the first down and more. Sinkfield down the sideline. Back-to-back big running plays for West Virginia, and they're in business.
Watch the movement. 13, Sam James, great block. Sinkfield, just really good vision. Bounce, cut outside. Stay disciplined in this run game if you're West Virginia.
Let's check in with Rocky.
Yeah, guys, one thing Baylor's defense does so well is leveraging the football. They know who's inside, who's outside, so they have confidence they can play fast. They did not do it on that play. That's what sprung it.
Well, they did it here. William Bradley King in run support down the line. Wraps up Sinkfield. No gain on first down.
Yeah, Rocky makes a great point of understanding. And what Rocky means by that is, like, if you're a defender and you know you've got somebody outside to your right and the ball is coming from your left, you want to do everything you can to bounce that ball out to that defender, right? You make sure you hit it with the correct shoulder. You would hit it with your right shoulder, force the ball to go to your buddy. You got to know exactly where everybody is to make sure you're hitting the blocker or forcing the ball with the correct shoulder.
That's interesting. That's the opposite to a certain extent of what some of us were taught when we played Little League football. Is it's second down and 10. And this play blown dead at the line as flags are down. It'll be a false start against West Virginia.
Front of the staff, false start, number 13. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
You know, when you play little kid football, you're always taught if you're the outside guy, get up the field and force it inside. Get up the field and force it inside, back to the help. But at this level, when you know where your teammates are and the style of defense you're playing, sometimes you're saying it's better to leverage and bounce it outside to the pursuit.
And the type of play you're getting. You know, this stretch run game that West Virginia wants to do, you just want to continue to make them run to the sideline where those defenders are. Everybody's got to play their part.
And the thing you have to do, Dan, is it changes every coverage. In cover 3, you got to be outside in that, you know, with inside. Cover 2, it changes. That's why his players got to be smart. You can't just be running around out there. You got to know from coverage to coverage who's outside, who's inside. Then you can play fast.
I like just running around. I found that to be a more enjoyable.
That'd be a reason why it never worked, bud.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming. Dagey finds a man in the flat. It's Sinkfield. He's got a first down. Run out by Dylan Doyle.
Perfect example of taking advantage of Baylor's aggressiveness. 44, Doyle. He's reading the back. He thinks he's blocking. He comes up, and then Sinkfield just sneaks right behind him. Easy play call and throw for Jared Dagey. That's beautiful. Understanding what the defense's identity is by Jared Parker, the play caller for West Virginia, and execution.
Sinkfield's made some big plays on this drive after Leddie Brown limped off the field. He becomes the receiver again here, but missed it. It went through his hands. And the tipped ball almost found its way to Terrell Bernard, who always seems to be around the football.
Thought Dagey could have had the corner route if he just hung in the pocket for a second more, not even a half a second more, and just anticipated that out route, left the pocket a little early, and the ball sails on him.
It's the first time we've seen Dagey, though, in some rhythm, it seems, since the opening drive of the game.
Really, the whole offense. I think this is a perfect time for screen pass because of Baylor's aggression.
They show blitz. Leddie Brown gets back on the field, takes the handoff, and picks up 7.5, 8 yards. That puts West Virginia in the red zone, and that will take us inside of 3 minutes to go in the 3rd.
You know, early on in this game, we saw West Virginia have some success with a trap type of run, where it's a quick-hitting downhill, pull a guard, and you try to just kick out an upfield defender. I feel this is a really good situation for you. 3rd and 3, you're probably going to get some form of man coverage, aggressive linebackers and defensive line. I want to see if you can punch a quick trap between that center and guard.
Timeout called. As the play clock was down to about 7, and Neil Brown had that timeout called from the sideline. Later on tonight, UFC Fight Night from Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. The prelims start at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN+. The main card at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus in English and in Spanish. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app and watch Holly Holm in action later on tonight. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Rocky Boyman, and boy, how much are we all looking forward to these beautiful Saturday afternoon college football panoramic shots of these cathedrals where all of those stands will be filled again with fans. I just can't tell you how much, as broadcasters who are in this for the environment and everything that college football is supposed to be all about, I want to see those fans filling these stadiums. It's what makes the sport great.
One of my first seasons a couple years ago broadcasting, I had a game West Virginia played at home against Kansas State, I believe, and it was my first time there. It was an incredible environment. Everybody's singing at the end of the game, and I was just like, that is one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of.
Country roads in Morgantown at the end of football and basketball games. Good as it gets after the timeout. Leddie Brown inside the 10-yard line. So a goal-to-go situation now for West Virginia, as they have not put a point on the board since their first drive of the game.
And I cannot say enough about Chase Barrett today. Their starting center, number 76. He's been really good, just pushing people off the line.
Baylor late running a player off. They may have had 12 on the field. It's a 1-yard gain, but it looks like West Virginia will get half the distance in the down back, as Baylor was late substituting.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
You'll see him running off right here. At 12th man, trying to get off the field. Ball's going to get snapped. You got to get your whole body off the field. Every part of your body's got to be into the white, not there. I think this is an outstanding opportunity for play-action pass for West Virginia.
Daggy. Incomplete. I think sometimes fans watch the game and wonder why the umpire sometimes stands over the football, why sometimes teams are allowed to snap the ball immediately. If the offense doesn't substitute, you can go as fast as you want.
Correct.
If the offense substitutes, the official will stand over the ball and give the defense a chance to substitute. But as long as you don't change your personnel if you're on offense, you can sometimes trap a defense in that spot and get a free 5 yards.
Yeah, it's a good job, the way to protect the defense as well with that substitution.
Leddie Brown looking for the goal line. He's a yard short. Christian Morgan saved a touchdown. 3rd down and goal inside the 1. Leddie Brown again. Did he get there? Right at the goal line. Is he in? The officials will once again say he is short. And we'll have the 12th play of the drive from inside the 1. Leddie Brown thinks he got in. You have to see the football. It does emerge there. I would think they would want to take another look as to whether or not Leddie Brown punched that in. Replay is going to buzz down and say, let's make sure. At first glance, Dan,
Rolling
I
on
think
the
it might have
field
been a touchdown.
as the runner was short of the goal line. Previous play is under further review.
This might turn out to be a really good review for West Virginia. He might have gotten in.
The Terrell Bernard comes off the edge right here, number 2. And you're going to see Leddie Bernard turn to him, right? Turn, and then where's the football right there?
He turns his body sideways, and he's not down, and then reaches the ball out. Not down, and the ball's out. I think that's a touchdown.
That ball's in his left hand, right? You see that extended. He's got the where the white sleeve is over his elbow. That ball is going to get extended. Watch the left arm come through.
When he turns sideways, he's not down. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, I think it's really close.
I think he made it.
I think the extension with the football by Leddie Brown gets him in. That left knee looked to stay off the ground.
Now, what we have the opportunity to do here, and also what they can do in the replay booth, if there's an angle where you can see his body, but not the ball, and there's an angle where you can see the ball, but not the body, we can take multiple reviews or multiple replays, sync them exactly, and that gives that much more information and certitude to the replay booth to say, all right, well, you need indisputable video evidence to turn the call made on the field. if you don't get it from one angle, but by combining the angles, you see what you need to see. And syncing those replays up sometimes makes the difference.
I think it's a touchdown. I think once you see the kind of the pile, but then you see the ball get extended over the goal line, and it looks like his left knee is still just above the turf. This should be a touchdown.
And when he turns sideways and that left knee's not down, he's still a live football player as he is going down.
As long as an elbow or a wrist doesn't go down, and that's holding the football, I think it breaks the pylon or the plane, and it's a touchdown.
After review, the ball broke the plane of the goal line before the runner's knee was down. Touchdown. The game clock operator, please put 137 on the game clock. 137.
So Leddie Brown with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season and the 8th of his career. And that's an 11-play touchdown drive after a 15-play touchdown drive for West Virginia to start the game, and a whole lot of ineffective football in between those 2 drives, but they persevere. And Evan Staley tacks on the point after, and it's a 14-7 lead.
A lot of not hurting yourself. You know, first of all, Sinkfield with a great jump cut, nice block by Sam James on the outside. Good job by Dague getting the ball out of his hands on 3rd down, again using Sinkfield and Baylor's aggression out of them, and then Leddie Brown just finishing. We talked about it early in this game, him being a physical back, someone that takes running with the football personal. The discipline by their play calling, that if you're Neil Brown, you're pointing to that drive and going, that's who we are, and that's who we need to be moving forward.
It's the 9th all-time meeting between these 2 teams. And Baylor has never won in Morgantown. This is their 5th trip to Morgantown, and they are 0-4 in the previous 4 trips. And now they have to come from behind here in the second half to see if they can get their first win at West Virginia. That's a very dangerous return man, though. Preston Ebner scored twice last week on kick returns, to go along with a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Lovett back to receive potentially as well. Staley's kick will go out of bounds short of the goal line. So that's a mistake on special teams. That'll give Baylor the ball out at the 35-yard line.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicky team. Put the ball at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
Let's check in with Kevin Nagandi. All right, Kevin. Well, Baylor would love just a little dose of that Florida offense now, as this is their 4th second-half possession. They've only got 1 first down. And just about throwing an interception is Charlie Brewer. There is a flag down. Tony Fields lurking in coverage.
Holding, number 61. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
Boy, Rocky, another penalty against Baylor, going from bad to worse for this Baylor offense.
No question. Dave Aranda, I'm telling my quarterback, Charlie Brewer, to use his legs. Down here on field level, I see the open rush lanes. West Virginia's secondary doing a great job in coverage. Their eyeballs are on their wide receiver. Get them off, create some momentum, make some plays with your legs, Charlie Brewer.
They try the tunnel screen here, and that goes nowhere. That's quickly diagnosed. So now, after the penalty and a 0 play, basically on 1st down, 2nd down and 19. You agree with that, Dan? Would you be trying to maybe draw up some design quarterback runs here for Charlie Brewer, or just tell him to get out of the pocket?
I'd get him out of the pocket for sure and simplify his reads to get him to play faster.
This is a 2-man rush. And Brewer able to get one right to the 1st down marker. It's been a long time since we've called R.J. Sneed's name in this game. And he's a yard shy of the 1st down.
Great job by Brewer there of using his eyes to get the corner to jump up and then getting that 7 cut, that corner route going towards the sideline.
3rd down and 1. Snap it quickly. And on a keeper, there's Brewer. Designed quarterback run for the first down.
I think for Larry Fedora and the play calling right now for Baylor, you got to understand your offensive line is playing poor. That's just through 3 quarters. That's what's happening today. And you're going against a dominant defensive line. Ball has to come out. You've got to get the ball to the perimeter. Get your quarterback on the move. Quick game, screens, spread the defensive out, and not need 5 blocks. Maybe just you need 2 or 3.
4-man rush, good protection. Brewer into traffic. And that's knocked away. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Good coverage from Drayshawn Miller.
Look, I don't think you can play your traditional drop-back football game right now. You know, I've seen this happen before where play callers are a little handcuffed. Man, our offensive line isn't playing good. The defensive line is being dominant. You got to get creative. You've got to use some confusion, get people on the perimeter, and get the ball out quickly.
4-man rush on what might be the final play of the quarter. And it will be as Snead picks up 4. So a 3rd down coming for Baylor when we start the 4th quarter. Mountaineers on top by 7. 7-point game as we start the 4th quarter with our Pacific Life game summary. And it's rare when the team that's down has 3 takeaways, Dan, but that's the story with Baylor. They have not been able to get their offense going despite those 3 takeaways.
I often say turnovers matter, but what you do when you get the turnover matters the most. And they just haven't been able to capitalize on any of the ones that they've created. And it's really because the offensive line isn't playing good enough. The receivers on the outside aren't separating. And West Virginia's defensive line has been completely dominant. I love the empty set right here, but Charlie Brewer's got to get this ball out of his hands in between the hashes.
Big 3rd down to start the 4th quarter for Brewer. 1st down catch for Josh Fleeks.
I think those are the matchups. You got to work inside the numbers, inside the hashes with those receivers that are trying to get match coverage, almost like man-to-man underneath by West Virginia. Let those guys set the defender and win either out or in.
A handoff to Ebner. And Treston Ebner brought down right at the 1st down line of scrimmage. So it will be 2nd down and 10. Again, Akeem Mesidor, the true freshman, in on the tackle right along the line.
I'd like to see Baylor get into that formation where they see the 3 receivers up top to your screen right now. I'd like to see them do that, but then try to work down to the field where there's a ton more space.
Mountaineers show blitz. They will rush 5. At throw from Charlie Brewer. May have been picked up. Drayshawn Miller. He's got it. Did he stay in bounds? It sure looks like he did. West Virginia may have gotten their takeaway on defense.
Rolling on the field's interception. West Virginia, 1st down.
Good zone defenders. Good zone defenders. I want everyone to watch Drayshawn Miller. He is going to play in between. These 2 receivers are going to go vertical, vertical, vertical. Watch him play with vision. To the quarterback, play in between, pass one off, ball comes out of the quarterback's hands, and see that wheel route coming up the sideline. Great job of mid-pointing. That's called mid-pointing by those corners. See him on the right side? He lets that post go, reads the quarterback, vision to him, and picks that ball off.
So West Virginia back to the offense with a jet sweep to Sam James. Is that something that defensive coordinators might call a trap coverage, where you're trying to bait the quarterback into that throw?
No, so when zone defenders, if you have a pass rush that you believe in, you can get those guys to play off in coverage, and you teach them to play with vision through the receiver to the quarterback, because they know the ball is going to come out sooner or later because the rush is so good.
Here's a handoff to Leddie Brown. He's about a yard shy of the 1st down, Rocky.
Bob, to your point about zone coverage there, I was always taught in zone defense, you read the front shoulder of the quarterback, and then as soon as the hands break, your foot goes in the ground, and you break on the ball. Excellent vision on the quarterback, not on the man, and then he saw those hands break, foot in the ground, interception.
Yeah, and in the mid-pointing, you know, playing in between those 2 receivers, the quarterback sees it as one guy covering 2, and you don't want to let that ball go, and you anticipate that post is going to take that zone defender away, and it doesn't, and he just falls off. Asante Samuel was one of the best ever at playing zone coverage because he was able to do all that and keep his vision to the quarterback.
Jalen Petrie with a tackle for loss on 3rd down will get Baylor the ball back. But it sure looked to me like he was offsides. He was in a dead run. Looked to be in the neutral zone when the ball was snapped. Did Baylor just get away with one? Oh, no flag is thrown, so it's 4th down and 3. Preston Ebner, deep to receive a line drive punt. This one might be returnable. Good kick coverage for the Mountaineers. West Virginia ball with a 7-point lead. Or check that Baylor ball. Well, Kevin, we've got ESPN College Football presented by PlayStation 5 with just over 12 minutes to go. West Virginia's got a 7-point lead. It's been a defensive struggle and at times missed opportunities by both offenses. 4 combined takeaways in the game. And you'd think a much more high-scoring game with momentum-shifting plays like that. But, Dan, these two teams have not taken advantage of the opportunities that their respective defenses have given them.
Yeah, is it great defense or just mistakes by the offense? Probably a little bit of both. Baylor's defense gets off the field. Their offense, you just got to go execute.
Charlie Brewer off play action, under pressure, and again he'll be sacked. The first man through was Josh Chandler-Samito. Tony Fields there as well.
Watch Tony Fields just come right there. They're going to try to send it back to him. He's not going to be able to get there. Beats him on the outside. Can't block me. Tony Fields is transferred over from Arizona. He's become an incredibly impactful player for this defense. But I still think Baylor has to get Charlie Brewer out the pocket.
He's in the pocket here. Now he's flushed out. Throws it away. 3rd down and 14 coming. Charlie Brewer has been sacked 6 times, but for his career, we're talking about a quarterback that's closing in on 1,000 yards rushing.
I think they're going to force Charlie Brewer to throw this ball to the outside. Snead, Thornton, one of those guys on the outside has got to win one-on-one versus a corner.
High throw incomplete, would have been well short of the line to gain, even if Tyquan Thornton had been able to come down with that pass. So 4th and 14, and the offensive struggles continue. I apologize to all Baylor fans. I call the Jets as well, so it must be me. I've got this impact on teams that wear green and white. Just doesn't look too good. Isaac Power forcing Sinkfield into a fair catch. Good field position for West Virginia when we come back.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
All these fans, young and old, it's what makes college football the absolute best. And yet all of these fans, young and old, if you're not related to the players in today's game, can't be at the game. And so we've been asking folks to send us shots of their watch parties or the fun that they're having at home. And we're delighted to make that part of our broadcast. Alongside Dan Orlovsky with Rocky Boyman as well. I'm Bob Wischusen. Morgantown, the site, 14-7 lead as the Mountaineers lead Baylor with 11:19 to go in the 4th quarter. Back to the offense for West Virginia. Dagey on a rollout. A flip into the flat. TJ Banks, the tight end. That'll be good enough for 11 yards and a 1st down. Here's Kevin Negandhi.
Bob, it's been 3 weeks since Mack Brown and his Tar Heels played some football ahead on ABC number 12, North Carolina, facing a BC team that has won its first 2 games under Jeff Hafley. Pleasing BC alums, we know, right, Bob?
Say it again, Kevin. Boston College has won their first 2 games under new head coach Jeff Hafley.
Yeah, I
hate
hate
Boston. That there,
I hate Boston College. So I love Hafley, but I hate Boston College.
Leddie Brown in the backfield. And he's going to get caught behind the line. And driven back by Braden Utley. Dan Orlovsky, not a fan of most schools in America based on rejected applications and non-existent scholarship offers. I understand.
Rejected applications.
I've sensed the bitterness.
They took a quarterback named Quentin Porter over me from Maine. I immediately hated as well, even though I had not met him.
Leddie Brown gets some of it back. It's a big 3rd down now for Baylor because West Virginia is one next set of downs maybe from field goal range. And if you make this a 2-possession game, even by kicking a field goal on this drive, it seems almost insurmountable as much as Baylor has struggled. And they get the stop. That's a great job by that Baylor defensive front. Now it's 4th down. What would you do if you're Neil Brown?
I'm punting the football. My defense has been dominant today. I don't think that the Baylor offense has proven to me that they can go 85, 90 yards. So I'm going to punt this football and try to pin them back.
Well, the offense staying on the field for the moment. Is this a bluff? And will they just let the clock run all the way down, take as much off of it as possible, take a delay of game, and buy a little more room for the punt group? Now, they're showing no sense of urgency to come back to the line of scrimmage. So they're just going to take the 5 yards and listen to Coach Orlovsky and kick it away.
Play a game. Offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Played against West Virginia once in college. Twice. We played a great game at home. Actually, their defensive coordinator for West Virginia, Jamil Adai, was on that team. He was also on the field when I throw a game-losing interception.
One of your 3 on the day, I believe. Wow. I like Dan Orlovsky flashbacks. This makes me feel better. We talked earlier about just the overall impact of a name like that getting coronavirus and where life is in the NFL dealing with this virus. But what about the impact on just that game? If you're Bill Belichick, who plays quarterback for you if Cam Newton can't?
Yeah, I would play Brian Hoyer. He's got like 40 career starts. I'm not going to put Jarrett Stidham out there, who hasn't had reps in preseason. He's been hurt. I'm not going to put him out there in that big of a game and go, hey, go play. You know, Hoyer's been there. He's got the command. He knows that offense inside and out. I feel like he'll give us at least the best chance to maybe get the game into the second half, right? And so I'm not going to do that to my football team, nor am I going to do it to Jarrett Stidham. Play Brian Hoyer.
2nd down and 9 for Baylor. Down by 7 as we approach the midway point here in the 4th. Coming back to help out his quarterback is Snead, but he's short of the 1st down. Is that also opponent-based because you're playing the best team in football?
I would probably play Hoyer no matter what, to be honest with you. Again, Jarrett Stidham was hurt. He hasn't ever had an NFL start. Brian Hoyer is a guy that has been there. He's done that. He's got 40 career starts or so. He knows our offense. He can actually step in the huddle and get us to execute, at least get us to the line of scrimmage, as silly as that sounds. So I think it's a no-brainer who you go with.
Charlie Brewer, he's been there, done that as well. He needs to do it again here on 3rd down. Keep the drive alive. Tipped ball, almost intercepted. So it's a 3 and out for Baylor. And it should be field position on the side of West Virginia as they pin the Bears deep.
You can see here Brewer scan, scan, scan. He's trying to get that in route, and that receiver's just never able to get inside of a dive. It just doesn't seem comfortable. It doesn't seem, you fans have heard not seeing the field well. It seems like Charlie Brewer's sitting back there waiting for someone to get open instead of anticipating someone to get open or throwing people to get open.
Very late. And a muff. A late fair catch signal from Sinfield, and his own man ran into him. and the ball caroms off a West Virginia player, and a special teams gaffe by the Mountaineers gives new life to Baylor.
Rolling on the field as the kick was muffed by the return team, recovered by the kicking team. First down, Baylor.
Will Williams comes up with the recovery.
Watch Bryce Ford Wheaton right there, just trying to do the right thing. Like he's trying to get inside of the Baylor player and shield him off, come right from the right side of the screen right there, shield him off from Sinkfield, and just gets in the way. I've never played special teams, but I know special teams, I've heard coaches always yell, as a return guy blocking, you got to get your eyes on the returner and see what his signals are telling you if you have to get away.
What an opportunity for Baylor. Over the middle, seam route underthrown. Preston Ebner looked like he had a step, but Brewer was thrown off schedule again by the West Virginia pass rush.
And he had him. He had Ebner, but the play was made by Darius Stills. The pressure forces him to get Brewer to get up into the pocket, and he's not able to get enough on that throw. I don't like this formation, though. I don't like the condense. Spread out. Spread out. Let's get the ball outside.
A design rollout for Brewer. Tipped ball incomplete, into traffic again. Flag down. Laquan Thornton was the intended wide receiver. Very important flag thrown here.
Pass interference, number 5. Defense, spot foul, automatic. First down.
That's the third flag of the game on Drayshawn Miller.
I think that's a fair call. He gets there a half second too early. You know, Thornton throttles down, and Drayshawn Miller's trying to play through the football, and he just got there too early. But I do like that play call, or the concept of the play call, getting Charlie Brewer outside. I want to see Baylor get this offense to the perimeter. You can't play tackle to tackle against West Virginia right now.
Baylor in the red zone looking for the tying score. Brewer to about the 11-yard line, maybe the 10. Gavin Holmes picks up a handful.
Charlie Brewer's got to be really good just playing with pace and rhythm here. No sacks. Don't hold on to this football. Your offensive line isn't good enough. I want him to work to the field, up top to the top of the screen. Find something to use that space up there.
Ebner spinning, trying to keep the play alive. Picks up 2. You know, for all that Treston Ebner and John Lovett are capable of, Baylor now has 23 yards rushing as a team for the game. So that war at the line of scrimmage has been won all day by West Virginia, and it brings up a red zone third down.
Yeah, you're thinking that West Virginia is going to play some zone coverage. It's what they've done a ton today, especially on third down. Baylor's in a bunch set. You're thinking crossers. Watch the bottom of the screen. This singled up receiver right there.
Brewer, play action. Steps up, reverses field, gets it out to Ebner. He breaks a tackle. He's right at the first down line to gain. And it looks like they may mark him just a shade short. Oh, the nose of the football is literally touching the first down line.
Great effort by Brewer, then Ebner to get out in the open field. Keep your balance. That left hand goes down to the ground. Keep your balance.
Fourth down and a foot. Did they not even measure? It certainly seems as if it's a no-brainer. You have to go for it, but they are right on the first down line again. Lovett right up the middle. He's got the first down. First and goal for Baylor. Coming up on 5.5 minutes to go.
I'd really like a zone read right now for Charlie Brewer. You've got this West Virginia defense that is bend but don't break, but you're getting close to their territory. Their antennas will be up. They'll be a little bit more aggressive. Give him the opportunity for a zone read off an edge defender.
Lovett to about the 2.5-yard line. Tony Fields, first there for West Virginia. And they mark him down right at the 3. Play action. Brewer, back of the end zone. Is that intercepted? It is! It's a touchback, Trayshawn Miller. A crushing interception. Thrown in the end zone by Charlie Brewer.
Touchback, first down, West Virginia.
All you can hope as a Baylor fan is that Miller touched the end line when he caught the ball. He may have been out of bounds. It might be new life for Baylor.
Timeout on the field.
What do you think, Dan Orlovsky, first glance?
I think that ball is going to get overturned. No interception, out of bounds. We'll find out when we come back.
Interception. The touchback.
Well, that's the definitive picture. And we talked about it just as we went to break. Trayshawn Miller, an interception that could have sealed the deal for West Virginia, but his foot was out of bounds. So new life for Baylor. Third down and goal. They get the football back. And now Charlie Brewer has to have amnesia. Although it looks like Gary Bohannon is going to come in the game, and he's going to be at quarterback. Third down and goal.
Bohannon in, now you're thinking quarterback run. You could even be thinking the old school Tim Tebow, like quarterback run jump pass here to be aggressive on third down.
So Charlie Brewer off the field for third down and goal. It is straight quarterback power. Bohannon looking for the goal line. He's going to be stood up at the 1. The play of the game coming now. You have to think Baylor's going to go for it. What really, for this offense, as much as they've struggled, would a field goal do for them here? You have to try for the tie on fourth down and goal, and here comes Charlie Brewer.
I think if I'm Baylor right now and Larry Fedora, I'm taking 2 receivers, and I'm going to put them stacked out next to each other, trying to get a pick play. Tell Charlie Brewer, if you love it, throw it. If not, we're also going to have a run game where we want to go downhill outside of our right side of our offensive line.
Love it. Fourth and goal. At the goal line. Is he in? No signal. Did West Virginia get the goal line stopped? It looks like they did. The ruling on the field is John Levitt stopped just short of the goal line. Once again, you'd have to think that replay will want to take another look to see.
West Virginia.
Can you see the football? Does it break the plane? Looks like a touchdown.
Yeah.
Boy, it's hard to see the football in that.
Ball carry was short.
Shot
Goal line. The previous play is under further review.
It's a touchdown.
He's on top of his own offensive lineman who's laying on the goal line. And again, we can sync these replays up. Let's see if this gives you a more definitive look.
Ball's in his left hand. It's over the pylon now. Over the goal to go get right down.
That looks like a touchdown. Again, it has to be indisputable because of the ruling on the field. The officials on the field say John Lovett was stopped short. What will the replay booth say?
He's on top of number 73, Jake Burton. 73's upper body is in the end zone, and the ball is laying on his back. It's a really good job of the back just getting downhill. Love it, getting downhill, not trying to get too cute, and just trying to find some form of light, seam, whatever, and trying to extend that ball over. I think it's a relatively clear touchdown.
Well, to play devil's advocate, and I agree, all logic says you could see his whole upper body seems to be over the goal line.
Yes.
And he's got the football right on top, as you said, of Jake Burton. But when the officials on the field say you are stopped short of the goal line,
right,
it has to be indisputable. Here's the decision.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First and 10, West Virginia.
And when they say the ruling on the field stands, what they're saying is we can't see the football. So we can't see indisputably that the football broke the plane. Logically, you're right. When he disappears over the goal line, it looks like it's a touchdown. But because the officials on the field say he's stopped short, the replay booth has to be able to clearly see the ball break the plane. And they're telling you we can't see it, so we can't change the call. Well, this is certainly not over yet for Baylor. A lot of time on the clock, and West Virginia at their own half-yard line, but they may have given them a free play by jumping in the neutral zone. Did Baylor just give breathing room to West Virginia by jumping off sides?
Offside, number 64, defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Great use of cadence. Clap. Get him to jump. Good job by everybody on that offense being prepared for that situation. Ball snapped, free 5 yards. Outstanding use of cadence by Dagey.
Baylor's defense going to sell out to stop the run now. And William Bradley King is there to limit that gain to about 2.5 yards, but with the free 5 yards on first down, makes it second down and a long 2, close to 3.
I think a lot of coordinators in this moment can try and get cute because, oh, they're going to sell out for the run. They know that that's what we want to do, and they try to, you know, pass the ball or get a play action. I think you just stay committed to who you are. Run game. Your interior 3 have played really well today. This should be another run downhill for West Virginia.
Get on the ground with Leddie Brown. Flag down. A couple of flags thrown right at the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Number 50 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
Well, Dan, that's 10 penalties on each team. That's a lot of accepted penalties in this game. Both teams have
I want you to see the shoot by the linebacker. There's the tackle right there. Watch when that linebacker, Bernard, shoots. He's going to come off. Watch the right arm wrap him. That's a hold.
Hold was on number 54.
That will put West Virginia back inside their own 5-yard line again. Second down and 7. Hot pass. Sam James. He might have the first down. Well done by the Mountaineers. And now Baylor's going to have to start thinking about using their timeouts.
It's really one of these RPOs. You put that bunch into the boundary, and he's just going to read Terrell Bernard when he puts that ball into the back's belly. Oh, Leddie Brown. If he doesn't, if Bernard follows Leddie Brown, we're going to kick that ball out to the bunch. We've got numbers.
And if you're West Virginia and you're managing the clock right, and it seems that they are, you want to take this play clock down as far as you possibly can. Agee, a veteran quarterback, snaps it with 3, and he's going to go down. And now you call timeout, I would think, if you're Baylor. Let's see if Dave Aranda does. Boy, very strange if now they call timeout. They let about 8 to 10 seconds come off the clock before spending that timeout.
Timeout, Baylor, first of the half.
Well, we have an opportunity. Let's check in with Kevin Nagandi. Got some games coming down to the wire, and ours has been low-scoring, defensive-oriented, and close all day. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Orlovsky. Rocky Boyman as well, covering West Virginia and Baylor. A one-score game, 2:13 remaining. And Baylor would love one last opportunity with the football.
I think they're going to continue to be aggressive defensively, play man-to-man coverage on the outside, and definitely commit to stopping the run. Now, you got to make sure your defenders, you remind them, great eye discipline, right? You don't want to be caught doing something or looking somewhere you're not supposed to. And then if you're West Virginia, I don't see a justifiable reason how these next two plays are not runs. I'm not going to give, you know, we haven't been great with our decision-making today offensively, quarterback-wise. I'm not going to give them the chance for a sack fumble, a ball to get tipped up in the air. 2 runs, force Baylor to go through their timeouts, and then march down the field against us without them.
And if these next 2 plays are runs, and West Virginia is somehow able to get a first down, the game's basically over. Here's Leddie Brown. He'll submarine for 4 yards. And you have to think Baylor will call timeout number 2. And they will.
Timeout, Baylor, second of the half, 30 seconds.
Crucial 3rd down when we come back in 30 seconds. Third down and 9 for West Virginia. Baylor has 1 timeout left. Would you throw the football here if you're the Mountaineers? I know you just said a moment ago this is nothing but runs and put it on your defense. But if you pick up a first down on this play, the game is all but over.
If you want to tell me that I'm going to go with a play-action pass, and I'll tell Jared Daigle, like, if it's wide open, throw it to him. If not, you run, take it yourself, stay in bounds, and force that timeout, that's fine. But this should not be any form of a drop-back pass.
It's a little pop pass forward to Winston Wright, and he'll come down short of the first down line to gain. So Baylor does get the stop. It looks like they will spend their final timeout. 2:02 to go, and again, we'll come back. Baylor's last chance with the football in 30 seconds. A moment ago, West Virginia with a goal line stand. Baylor looked for the world like they may have had the equalizer touchdown. Replay didn't see it their way, but their defense goes out and does the job and gets the stop. So now it will be one last opportunity for Baylor with the football to try and force overtime. What kind of field position will they get? Preston Ebner back to receive the punt. Fair catch. Good field position at the 41-yard line is the answer. But Dan, this goal line stand, credited to the West Virginia defense, may have saved the game for them.
Initially thought it was a turnover. That gets overruled. They bring in the backup quarterback, Gary Bohannon, quarterback run. Great stop by West Virginia. And then they try to get downhill in their run game, and they make the stop. It's a bang-bang, super close call. I surely thought it was a touchdown. I was wrong in the eyes of the officials, but a great job by West Virginia's defense of bowing up. And that's how they're going to play this 2-minute drill. They're going to dare Charlie Brewer, take completions, take completions. We're not going to give the ball over our head early in this 2-minute drive.
4-man rush. And that first opportunity goes right through the hands of Gavin Holmes. Maybe some alligator arms there from Gavin Holmes as Josh Chandler-Samito was lurking and was ready to deliver a big hit.
I think they got to cut the field in half for Charlie Brewer right now. Hey, you're going to work to the right or you're strictly going to work to the left. 1 to 2, get the ball out and get completions. Make sure that we're getting positive plays. We've got plenty of time with the minute 51.
Brewer extending the play. 3rd down and 10.
I still think there's plenty of opportunity for them to throw the ball out to the perimeters. Short side of the field or far side of the field. Those corners are playing high. That's the philosophy of their defense. We're going to keep everything in front of us. You still have 2 downs here, Charlie Brewer. Understand that 5-6 yards is a positive play here. Do not force a ball into traffic.
Only a 3-man rush on 3rd and 10. Brewer, low throw, incomplete, flags out, and it looks like a fresh set of downs for Baylor. It looks like a couple of different flags thrown on a couple of different collisions. And Baylor has a man down as well. So it looks like this will keep the game alive for Baylor. And as you may have just seen, 7 times over the last couple of years, Charlie Brewer has, in the fourth quarter, led a drive to either tie or take the lead. And Baylor was able to come up ultimately with a win in all 7 of those games. And boy, R.J. Sneed, he is just about out on his feet. So
Personal
one of those
foul,
collisions is a big one.
Number 1, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Wow, so Tony Fields lays out R.J. Sneed, and it's a 15-yard penalty.
Just watch Tony Fields here. This is him right here. Sneed's coming this way. He's playing a robber, low-hole player, searching up shallow crosses.
How is that not targeting? They just called that a 15-yard foul. And to me, that is crown of the helmet. That is a launch. That is a player that's a blindside receiver.
Correct.
So that's forcible contact to the head or neck area. I would think Tony Fields should be out of the game. Still a big penalty. 3-man rush. Long throw to the sideline. Ebner makes the catch. Stays in bounds. Close to a first down.
Great play
by
by
9 yards.
Great play by Ebner. Just knowing you're getting close to the sideline, stopping your route. Don't go out of bounds and then making a play out into the open field. Charlie Brewer just, I said it early, be patient here. Get the ball out, get completions. You have plenty of time right now. 90 seconds left in this game. Get completions. Force West Virginia to make the tackles.
Brewer over the middle. He's got a man in stride, and walking into the end zone is Josh Fleeks with the touchdown. An extra point away from a tie for Baylor. There is a flag down.
After the play was over, sportsmanlike conduct, number 21, offense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That's number 21's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for the game. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Watch him on that crossing seam, Fleeks. Over the top of those linebackers, Charlie Brewer snaps by, up over. You got to get that ball up over those defenders. Great touch and trajectory on that football. Trusting his eyes, telling him where to throw the football against a zone defense. Huge touchdown. Fleeks is the one who dropped it before. Same route that he dropped before earlier in this game. Great job coming back and making the play.
And where was the unsportsmanlike conduct? Because that's a big 15 yards. Now you're kicking the ball off 15 yards further back and giving West Virginia possible field position. They've got plenty of time. And is it that little flex right there that costs his team 15 yards?
Great job by Brewer. You see that ball go in between those defenders. Fleek's doing a nice job of settling in that zone, throwing that ball with a little bit of arc on it. If that's the penalty, come on. Let's allow these young men who work really hard to have some fun. Is it the turn back? Come on, guys.
Hard to believe that anything that Josh Fleeks just did would warrant a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And let's see how that factors now with 1:19 seconds. And West Virginia still with 2 timeouts left. And they're going to have to kick this ball off at their own 20-yard line. So this could give some significant change of field position to the Mountaineers, as they're going to be looking to try and get in field goal range to win the game.
That's huge. I mean, 2-minute drill, they're all very different, but most of them, it's about getting a chunk play. That is a chunk play. That 15-yard flag results in a chunk offensive play, essentially, for West Virginia.
So Noah Rauschenberg will kick it off. Are we headed to overtime? Working West Virginia. get into field goal range to try and win it. From the 11-yard line, Winston Wright. And it turns out to be a big call. All the way out to the 40-yard line to start this drive for West Virginia. After we check in with Kevin Nagandi.
What?
The flexing during every cut.
From Booger?
Absolutely.
Man, if I have to hear it, probably because all the Peloton that he does.
There we go.
He flexes on me on the golf course, or at least attempts to.
Jared Dagey trying to win it. Jet sweep. Winston Wright, only 4 yards, does not get out of bounds, and that will roll the clock, so they'll have to hurry trying to preserve those timeouts with a minute to go.
The big thing is knowing where you need to get to offensively. How many yards do you need to at least have that field goal attempt?
False start. They may be forced to use a timeout here or incur a 10-second runoff.
Number 57, offense, five-yard penalty from the previous spot. West Virginia has taken a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
Inside of a minute to go, if that clock's rolling and you commit a foul like that, it's a 10-second runoff unless you've got a timeout and you want to save the 10 seconds. So in that sequence, they gain 4 yards on first down, stay in bounds. Then a false start backs them up 5, so they're actually -1 yards, and they've been forced to spend a timeout here, and the clock is already down to 52 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't love the play call, because if you get 6-7 yards on that play call, that would be a good play, right? But at the end of the day, you're probably going to stay in bounds, and the clock is running, and you're still getting into second down. This is 2-minute drill to go win the football game. The ball has got to go into the air. There's different ways where you can attack this defense other than the jet sweep toss. So I don't love the play call. They got to be in their huddle right now talking to them. Guys, we need to get about 35 yards. It's 2nd and 11. We've got plenty of time. Let's go execute. Receivers, if you get outside the numbers, get yourselves out of bounds. If you're inside the numbers, get as much yardage as you can and get down. If we get a first down here, we're immediately going to come up to the ball and call our play in no huddle fashion.
Well, if you're wondering Evan Staley's range, his career long at West Virginia, 49 yards in the Camping World Bowl. He kicked one against Syracuse a couple of years ago, but in high school, he did kick a 54-yarder. So his career long in college, 5 yards shorter than his career long in high school. And if you want to kick a 54-yarder, let's say you get to about the 35-yard line, that would be inside of 54 yards. That's probably where they need to get to. Dagey, seam route, dropped. Sam James had it right between the hash marks. And that would have been a big chunk play for West Virginia. And he dropped the ball.
It's the exact right call. Bending seam from the left side of your screen. Let's get the throw by Dagey. Bleed him in there. Sam James just lets that ball get across his face. I've heard receiver coaches all the time tell those guys, don't let the ball get across your face. Trust your hands.
3rd down and 11.
You got the trips up at the top of your screen. Baylor's going to play those 3 inside defenders over the 2 inside receivers. That receiver up top, one-on-one, got to win.
Dagey. That ball is caught. Well short of the first down, though, for Leddie Brown. Now, if you're West Virginia, are you going for it on 4th down? They're heading up to the line. Now, here's the problem. If you call timeout here and you don't get it on 4th down, you're going to give all that time back to Baylor. So this is a smart move. Don't call the timeout. Let the clock wind down and play for overtime.
Exactly. There's no way you go for this.
And Neil Brown is not going to give Baylor another chance with the football. They're going to go to overtime, it looks like, and let the clock wind all the way down. Baylor and West Virginia will head to overtime.
Of regulation.
We step aside. Coming right back to Morgantown. Dan, we're heading to overtime, mostly because Baylor and West Virginia both making mistakes and at times not taking advantage.
You saw the fumbled punt return with miscommunication, the potential interception, but it gets overturned. The goal line stand by West Virginia's defense. late in the game. West Virginia going with the quarterback run. Fleeks on the crosser route. Huge touchdown by Baylor to tie this football game with about 90 seconds left. Right now, it's up to who actually wants to win the football game.
Well, we go to overtime, and after the coin toss, the winner will choose offense, defense, or end of the field. Each team gets one possession from the opponent's 25-yard line all the way through the first 4 overtimes. If we keep on going, you get the third overtime, you got to go for 2. And then alternating 2-point conversions would replace possessions, starting with overtime number 5. We'll have some 2-minute rest periods if it goes that far, and it might, because these two offenses have struggled so mightily to move the ball and to score points. Let's see who ends up starting with the football and who ends up playing defense first, as they're going to toss the coin out at midfield.
Gentlemen, great game. Welcome to overtime. Overtime rules. Winner of the coin toss. Offense, defense, or which end of the field we're going to play on. Each team gets 1 timeout per overtime series. They do not carry over. Baylor, you're the visitors. You get to call the coin toss. It's the same coin we use at the beginning of the game. Heads, tails, heads, tails. What's your call? Tails is the call. It is tails, you've won. Defense, you got it. You guys want to go this way? All right, Baylor's won the toss, and we'll go on defense. First down, West Virginia.
So West Virginia's offense had a chance to put the game away a moment ago and could not get into field goal range. Now what happens with Jared Dagey?
You know, I really liked some of the stuff that they did early on in this football game when it came to getting to those 2 receiver sets spread out or bunches spread out and allowing him to operate the run-pass option game. We saw it on the 2nd down late in that game where he kicked it out to Winston. I want to see that because I feel he operates it quickly, and it allows you to kind of take advantage of Baylor's aggression, and you can get your run game going, but your receivers have blocked well on the perimeter as well. I want to see them spread it out and give him this RPO option off of some of these second-level defenders for Baylor.
Leddie Brown empties the backfield. Dagey wants to set up the screen. That is blown up by Terrell Bernard before it ever gets started. Well, he saw that one coming from a mile away.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
2nd down here. I still think that getting into a bunch set if you're West Virginia offensively and putting, like, Terrell Bernard's a great player, but he's an aggressive player. Jalen Petre's a great player, but they're aggressive. Use that against them. Put them in conflict with your run-pass option.
Again, they want the screen. Again, it's not there. Disciplined play by Dylan Doyle. He was stalking Leddie Brown. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
Know thyself. You got to know exactly who you are. And right now, this isn't West Virginia. This isn't who you proclaim to want to be as an offense. So now you're putting yourself into 3rd and 10. You haven't been very successful on 3rd down. You still have to be very good if you're Jared Dagey. Like, you do not take any form of a sack here. The ball has to get out. Baylor's going to bring some pressure. You've got to find a one-on-one matchup.
Dagey steps up in the pocket, right at the 1st down line to gain. Coming back to catch the ball is Sam James, and then spins. He's about a foot short, looks like. His own momentum brought him shy of the line to gain. It looks like they're going to go for it rather than try the field goal on 4th down and a foot. Quarterback sneak.
I'm not going to the left side. That's too young of a group for me to go left. I'd go right.
The ruling on the field was the runner was short of the line to gain. The previous play is under further review.
All right, replay is going to check the accuracy of the spot and whether or not West Virginia is indeed short. The only negative I would think here for the Mountaineers is if they come back with the same ruling that he is short. Sometimes that quarterback sneak seems more effective when you can get right up and run it with tempo.
Of course.
And now that's taken away. But did he get the ball to the first down line to gain?
I'm going to play this assume game that he is short, that the ruling on the field will be confirmed.
Yeah, it looks like they got it right.
The reason why, if you're going to call quarterback sneak, the reason why I'm saying I'm going to go lean on my center's right towards my right guard is my left tackle is a sophomore, my left guard is a true freshman. My center and right guard are seniors. They've been in that moment. They've understood it a little bit. If I'm the quarterback, I'm going to lean towards them.
And Sam James, only a redshirt sophomore. If he catches that football and simply backs up, he's got a first down.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was short of the line to gain. It'll be fourth down.
He's trying to make something happen, but he took himself 2 yards back short of the first down on his own and did not get back to the 15-yard line. So just outside of the 15, West Virginia looks like they're going to put their offense right back out there and go for it on fourth down and inches.
I personally like, I don't love quarterback sneak here. I personally would love some form of a lateral jet motion, quickly handed off on the perimeter.
Will they snap the ball? Or is this just a hard count? As Daegie's looking over, play clock at 10. And now it looks like a timeout might be called. It will be called by West Virginia.
West Virginia.
So while we have an opportunity, let's get another update with Kevin.
Everyone's probably asking, like, okay, why did West Virginia snap their huddle so quickly, sprint to the line of scrimmage, and not call a play? What they're doing is trying to figure out, when we present this formation to the defense, how are they aligning? Where are certain people? Maybe they're trying to see where William Bradley King is, number 99 for Baylor's defense, or maybe they're trying to see where Terrell Bernard is. Do they want to run towards him? Do they want to run away from him? It's all about gathering information, almost like they do in basketball.
I was going to say, it's almost like a basketball sequence where I just want to see what you're in before I run my play.
Hey, are they going to put 3 defensive tackles in between our guards? Do we feel like we can quarterback sneak in between the guard and the tackle? Or do we want to get on a downhill run? All that is really an information gathering off of what you present to them.
With nosy safeties?
Yeah.
With an aggressive defensive line?
No.
Is there a hard count here, or are you snapping the ball?
Here's the thing. Hard count here. Do you trust your offensive line to hold their water, to sit in? Because the last thing you want to do is hurt yourself here.
Here we go. Fourth down play. Daegie's in the shotgun. He'll flip one in the flat. It's an easy first down pickup for Mike O'Loughlin, the tight end. And it's first and goal.
Remember down in the red zone, we were talking about trying to get those bunch 2-man sets and using picks. That's exactly what it was. They got into a bunch. They showed a little flash fake, a little pick on the outside, right at the line of scrimmage, so it's legal. And the uncovered tight end goes into the flat.
First and goal at the 6. Daegie looking for the back left corner, and he's got it for the touchdown. Bryce Ford Wheaton wins the battle. And in overtime, West Virginia strikes first with 6.
Watch Ford Wheaton. Look back for the ball, look back for the corner's back, his turn, give him a chance. He was so close last week, Bryce Ford Wheaton was. 2 or 3 plays, and they said he just needs to finish. Great job by Daegie of seeing Milton's back turn and throwing that ball up high to allow Bryce Ford Wheaton to go make that play.
Oh, now Baylor knows exactly what they have to do. They'll get the football, but they will have to have a touchdown to extend this game as we check it again with Kevin. Boy, a lot of good games early on this college football Saturday. Again, Dan, back to the touchdown.
Yeah, so this is Bryce Ford Wheaton. He's just really running a reduced split fade. This is the corner. I want everyone to watch. Once that ball gets snapped, 37 is going to turn his back. Daegie realizes your back is turned, you can't see me. And that is one of those 50-50 opportunity balls. Bryce Ford Wheaton made it, but credit Daegie for letting that ball go.
Brewer looking for the equalizer. He wants it all on one play, and he's got it. beautifully designed. Ben Sims, the tight end, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Watch the tight end Sims right down here. He's going to down block and release. They're going to bring the receiver from the right side of your screen to clear out the coverage. Down block, patience, release. No one's even paying attention to you. That's called wide leak, tight end leak. You get everybody's attention flowing to the one side of the field. You tell that tight end to be patient on his down block and then leak where the defense is vacated.
Tied at 21, headed to another overtime when we come back. As Baylor and West Virginia trade touchdowns, Charlie Brewer all of a sudden heating up late. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky,
on defense for the second overtime.
Rocky Boyman.
Baylor will attack the north end zone.
And you can hear that West Virginia will opt to be on defense now as we go to overtime number 2. So Charlie Brewer throws a touchdown pass, one snap from the 25-yard line, and gets the equalizer. And now he's going right back out there. How about you spend the whole game trying to dent the end zone, and your last 2 possessions, you throw 2 touchdown passes. You know, Dave Aranda, he has a mentally tough football team, obviously.
I was just going to say, like, where was this? Maybe all we needed was for these teams to get into their red zone, specifically Baylor. But I think it is a little bit of taking on the personality of your head coach. He doesn't seem to be a guy who flinches or panics and whatnot, and they needed to make a play. Fleeks, you see 21 right there. He made that play when they needed it the most, and now maybe they've opened things up a little bit. I still say this. Get Charlie Brewer on the edge. You've found something moving him out of the pocket, cutting the field in half. Continue to do that if you're Larry Fedora.
He's going up top again. Jump ball back in the end zone. That might have been picked. It was. He tried for the home run ball to start overtime number 2. And Tyke Smith.
Interception.
He's got the interception.
First down, West Virginia.
Brewer is hurt. So now all West Virginia needs is a field goal to win it.
I don't know. It looks like he's got it there. Foot down.
Yeah, to me, that's an interception.
Yeah,
I mean, the idea that the ball is going to wobble a bit after he takes 3 steps out of bounds.
I agree. I think Ebner shows great effort, but
he's got it secured. And he is well out of bounds when the ball wobbles just a bit, but he's bringing it into his midsection, secures it. To me, that's an interception.
Interception in the end zone for a touchback. Previous play is under further review.
They'll go to the replay booth to make sure. Dan, how about the play selection? Shot. It worked at one end of the field, but it's a risky throw, and Brewer was getting cut in half as he released the football.
Yeah, they try to be aggressive. They used this play early in the first half. This is an outstanding focus play by Tyke Smith. That is an incredibly difficult catch. I like the aggressive thought process. They had it in the first half and didn't get it executed. And I think it's a very similar thing in the second half, or in overtime, excuse me.
Well, college football, it's only 1 foot in, so he is clearly in bounds when he makes that pick. The only thing they would be looking at here is, does he secure the football to the ground? And it certainly looks like he did that as well. So I would think this would be a pick for Tyke Smith.
I actually think that they've got Ebner on a touchdown. That ball floats. It looks like it's a toaster up in the air. Charlie Brewer got hit right when the ball left his hand, and you can see that ball just kind of squirt out of his hand, floats in the air. Again, Tyke Smith doing an awesome job of tracking that football. He looks like a wide receiver there, over the outside shoulder, kind of fading to a sideline.
He's a good player. Only a sophomore from Philadelphia, but he was a freshman All-American. And an honorable mention, all Big 12 safety last year, had a couple of picks and 6 passes broken up as a freshman. And now he might get what turns out to be a game-saving overtime interception here. Now this is like when you're a lawyer and you start to wonder if the jury stays out too long. Is this going to go against me? This is a long review for a would-be interception by Tyke Smith.
When I saw that first replay, I looked at you and I said, I don't know, because it looks like the ball does move a bit, and Ebner kind of comes to try and break it up. And I think it's very difficult to say that you've got indisputable evidence that you're going to overturn that call on the field. But again, I want to hammer home this point. That interception, credit Tyke Smith, that interception is made by the West Virginia defensive line. Charlie Brewer's got him. And if he doesn't get hit, I'm thinking that he's going to throw that ball up over with a little air and it's a touchdown to Ebner. But the pressure by the defensive line and hitting Brewer right as he's throwing that ball forces it to pop up in the air, and Tyke Smith tracks it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Interception, first down, West Virginia.
That's the right call. So West Virginia now, you start in field goal range in overtime. So is this just about putting the ball between the hash marks and setting up your kicker where he is most comfortable, or are you still being kind of aggressive, trying to get this ball down to maybe extra point range if you can and making it a chip shot?
No, my #1 goal is no negative plays. So this first down, I'm definitely running the football and just seeing what happens for my second down call, but I'm committed to running the ball on this drive.
Instead, it's Daigie on play action, and that's a pseudo running play, right? A little pitch and catch to Mike O'Loughlin, the tight end. A very safe passing play in a gain of 8.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you do there is you tell Jared Daigie, like, listen, if he's not wide open, you become the running back, and you just go get some positive yards. Now, you are in complete safety mode as a play caller. This is about what hash my kicker wants the ball on. We cross-cup it as a runner, make sure that they're going to be punching for the football, and we protect it.
And this might be a free one, as way offsides was Jalen Petrie.
Offside, number 8. Defense, undebated the quarterback, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That should be a first down, right?
Yeah, it was second down and 2, and the 5-yard penalty will give them a first down. So it should be 1st and 10 at about the 12-yard line.
So again, this is just about, hey, where does your kicker like it? Right or left hash? I might not even get it to 3rd down and just run out my field goal unit out there.
Unless you find the end zone, and Leddie Brown almost found a crease inside the 10-yard line. A lot of coaches will also run a play here, but maybe try and kick it on 3rd down, because if you muff a snap, something goes wrong, you can turn turtle and still have a chance on 4th down.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm just taking a knee right here.
Just lay down in between the hash marks.
I'm going to take it. If he wants it on the left hash, I'm telling him take the knee. If he wants it in the middle of the field, tell him to run there and get down to the ground if you're Jared Daigie.
Down to the 3-yard line goes Leddie Brown. Dylan Doyle made the stop. They may leave their offense out there on 3rd down and 1 and not even take the chance if you can run the ball into the end zone and end the game. Third down and a yard. Leddie Brown, he's got the first down, he's got the end zone, he's West Virginia, and they win it in overtime.
Touchdown.
Well, why fool with your field goal group, Dan? I guess if your offensive line and your running back can take care of it for you.
Yeah, they got dominant there in that second overtime drive just became dominant. And we're trying to figure out the strategy of the game. And Neil Brown just saying, let's just continue to run the football. Continue to run the football. They fought. It wasn't pretty, but pretty wins are better than ugly losses. Ugly wins better than pretty losses.
No question. And West Virginia, they will take it. 27-21 is the final in the second overtime as the Mountaineers survive. After a quick break here on ABC, North Carolina at Boston College underway. Thanks for watching.